Now you might pray to God, y'all, but I like Lucifer best of all. Sunday school is a place for fools. It's hot in hell, but the devil's cool. Don't keep Satan waiting. Don't keep Satan waiting. So don't just sit there, join the club. Sell your soul to Beelzebub.
Hey, everybody. It is I, Count Jackula, your favorite satanic streamer here once again through the demons of the internet coming at you. And tonight, we are with Horror Guru. We're going to hang out for a bit. Also, Horror Mom is having a bit of financial trouble, so there is a link to her GoFundMe. If all goes well, we'll have her on tomorrow night. But
absolutely.
Right now, anything that you can, anything you could spare will be greatly, greatly appreciated over there at the GoFundMe. Sent the link in the chat. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Just kind of enjoying this really fucking hot day. Holy crap.
Yeah, it was a really hot day.
It's a nice day when you go outside, but when you're inside, it's like you're roasting, like a roasted thing.
yeah. Like we just got back from like a little car trip out to like Daly City to do some shit we needed to do. And man, I'm not used to so many people being on the road, even at that time of day on a Monday.
Yeah, it was really crowded today for whatever reason.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, what have you been up to, he says, as if he didn't know.
Mainly just been doing the vlogs with you, you know, those things. I've been editing a video for Killer Clowns that should have been out months ago, but hopefully will be out before the end of this month, maybe. We'll see. If things go well.
Do we have everything that we need for that?
Everything I'm pretty sure is recorded. It's just me sitting down and finishing the editing job.
Oh, okay.
Basically. Pretty sure we recorded everything as far as I know. But when I'm editing it, I'll know. I'll find out. I'll be like, hey, we missed this part. Let's go record it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man. Oh God. Sometimes sometimes I miss making videos, but I do not miss the bustle of, I do not miss the hustle at all.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, like I think that's the thing. Like YouTube got too hustle culture and I was just like, nah, I think I'm out.
I can say, yeah, it's such a fucking grind. And if you listen to any of the people that give like advice on that kind of stuff, the things that they are recommending you do, trying to do it on your own will fucking grind you down really quickly. You know, there's a reason why even top YouTubers, ones who have full-on teams and make millions of dollars, reach a burning point in which they just completely burn out and don't know what to do, you know?
Yeah. And that's usually the international like sign for me to quit. Because otherwise I'm going to be destroying something that I think is like kind of essential to me. And in the case of the videos, it's like love of movies. I was dreading movies and for the longest time. And I still haven't completely recovered, but I'm also like really busy with Babylon. So
yeah.
There's that feeling of
Makes
like,
sense.
well, I got to work on that, you know, if it's going to get anywhere. You know?
Makes sense.
Yeah, but like near the end of things there, I was actually really hating movies.
Yeah, I noticed that. I didn't understand it at the time, but I guess it's a you thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Because I could never dread movies. I can watch them anytime, anywhere. They make me happy.
Yeah, like I wish I was a little more like that sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, it's like I'm often in a mood for a movie, but like for some reason, this dread will come over me sometimes. You know, not of the film, but of things that have to happen as a result of the film. you know, like,
Gotcha.
you know,
Gotcha.
sometimes sometimes I can talk about a movie, but having to do it in front of a camera for some reason,
Mm.
sometimes I get uncomfortable and I don't know why. So I try
Yeah.
to some of the time I can just power through it. Most of the time I can power through it, but like those times that I can't are always the ones I remember,
I
you know.
noticed that you being uncomfortable in front of the camera started with the Disney trip and it never went away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you weren't like that before. You were as comfortable as anybody in front of the camera.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I didn't
And
realize
then
the
after the Disney
shift.
trip, after the Disney trip is when we would try to record things and you would have like complete breakdowns just trying to get in front of the camera. And it's never recovered since. It's always been now like pulling teeth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's harder to get me in front of the camera. Like the sad thing is I keep getting people telling me that they love that video, and I'm like, I've only watched it once. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I don't want to. I mean, there is something to that because I don't want to relive that experience.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Makes sense. Makes sense. It was not a fun trip.
no, it really wasn't, which is too bad. You know,
Yeah.
because it feels like it should have been. You
Yeah.
know, but I think
Unfortunately.
yeah, I think 3 days in Disneyland was just way too long for me. Like I
Yeah.
just the environment itself, I think, like just fucking just got under my skin because it's that feeling of like it wasn't present when we did Halloween Horror Nights, you know, because it was like,
No.
oh,
No. But I can draw a direct line. Before that trip, you never needed to do anything to prepare for in front of the camera besides just getting in front of the camera. After that trip, now it's like I got to take a shot, I got to smoke a cigarette, I got to do all this stuff in order to mentally prepare to get in front of the camera. You didn't have to do that before.
yeah,
Like
it's true.
you would just slip into the character and get in front of it, and it's just kind of been the way it is since then.
Yeah, yeah, I gotta, you know, yeah, maybe if I can figure out how to undo that, that will,
Yeah, who knows?
yeah, yeah, who knows? Um, but yeah, that is like a problem to me, having like a really bad experience. Like start to become avoidant, you
Yep,
know,
yep.
and I think everyone does that to a certain point, but it's like I still do it.
To a certain extent, it happens. I think everybody has that, especially in the immediate. Like something bad happened with something, and you're like, "Oh, I'm not going back there."
Yeah,
I had this experience there. Maybe on a longer timeline, you can go back to there, but sometimes in the immediate, it's like no. But I think because of the various things that you deal with on a
yeah.
daily basis, it lasts longer. In fact, I think it just kind of lasts forever for you, to be honest.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes it does, which is the thing I really don't like. You
Yeah.
know, it might just take a special movie to get you back in the mood. Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Sometimes that's true. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes the right movie, Jack will just be all in
Yeah,
immediately. True.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just yeah, I don't know what it is about the camera, but you're right. I used to be able to just be able to jump in front of the camera and just be like, "Hey,"
Yep.
you
Yeah, I
know.
remember it distinctly. I remember the first day when we got back and we went to record something and the breakdown you had in front of the camera. And ever since then, it's been that way.
Yeah,
Like not
yeah,
to that like extreme of that immediate moment afterwards, but like lesser versions of that over time, to where it's just like not now like even and it ended up extending behind the camera too. Sometimes it'd
yeah,
be like, could you like run the camera for me? And you'd be like shaking,
yeah,
and that used to be second nature to you. In fact, I remember you telling me about how you wish you went to school for that instead of other things at a period of time. But
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. I
something
think
about that Disney trip just left a lasting impression.
yeah, I think that was yeah, I think it really did because it was. I think it was because I didn't feel like I could make Tony happy.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, like I was
I get that.
trying to put in like 100%. And the conditions weren't ideal already. Not because of like, not even because of Tony or the
It's
production.
100 degrees outside. You're surrounded by millions of people because you're at Disneyland.
Yeah,
Tony wants us to do at least 50 takes for everything, and we never know if we got it right because there's no right take. There's just he wants the options to do many takes. So you're doing the
yeah.
Stanley Kubrick thing where you're sitting there going like, Stanley, what are you looking for? And Tony doesn't know. He's going to find it in the editing room. But unfortunately, doing that over and over again in a theme park surrounded by people in scorching heat. Scorching heat. I cannot stress enough how hot it is in the desert that is Southern California in the summer.
Yeah, particularly Anaheim.
Yes. When we haven't really eaten because we haven't had time to eat because we've just been filming stuff. And we're being stalked by Disney police because we're running around filming things.
Yeah.
So there's all these millions of stressors happening at once. And it's not fun.
Yeah. And my breaking issue was the like, hey, Tony, why don't you just, rather than having to say the exact line, which is actually maybe a little too much of a tongue twister, and I don't think that it is actually adding anything.
Yeah, that was the other part of the problem. We couldn't change the line to make it work for us. We had to say it exactly the way Tony wanted to do it. And I get it. He's a perfectionist. But at the same time, sometimes the sentence just doesn't come out of your mouth right.
Yeah.
And no matter how many times you redo it, you can't say the sentence that way because the way you speak just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, can I just slightly reword it this way? It will still get the same idea across. It's still kind of funny. But Tony was very, very perfectionist, very hands-on, very micromanaging, and he needed it to be the exact way it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't know which take he was going to use.
Yeah. It also didn't help that, like, one of the reasons that it was such a pain to shoot was because the sun was always in my eyes.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
You know, it was like, I can't emote because I'm always like this, just trying to, I had to, there's so many times I had to kind of guess by sound where the camera was.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was an unpleasant experience.
Yeah. Not helped by the fact that, like, as much as I cherish Brother Goldberg, the man does Disneyland like gangsters do time.
Oh, yeah. He does that thing where he has a very strict schedule in order to hit everything in the park when you're there, so you don't miss a single thing. And I do mean everything in the park, everything you could possibly hit. And unfortunately, that means there's no downtime to do anything else. Now imagine having that strict schedule, but you're also filming a video all day on top of that. So, like, we're not eating. We're not resting most of the time.
Yeah.
Jack's not having cigarette breaks, which is probably another thing that contributes to the stress of the situation. Jack needs to smoke. He needs to go to the smoking section. But Tony's insisting we do 50 more takes of this line that he's already recorded 50 other times.
Yeah. And it's not like I can just go like back to the trailer for a second or something.
Exactly.
That smoking section is, weirdly enough, that smoking section is like right in the middle of a little kid zone, which I was like, what?
I guess because they expect parents to smoke, and so it's like the parents are going to walk over. I don't know. It's a weird choice.
Yeah. I was like, I would have thought that like your smoking section would have been like, I don't know, like 100 feet from the drinking area where they serve the alcohol.
Yeah.
But that's just like how not geared towards adults Disneyland really is.
It's true.
It are a complete afterthought.
Like no shade to Disney adults, but it is a park designed for children, and you feel it when you're there.
Yeah.
It's probably why we enjoyed something like Halloween Horror Nights better, because it was an adult experience.
Oh yeah. And
being an adult in that environment, talking the way we do, where we swear like fucking sailors and all that stuff, we're not going to get fucking stalked by security.
Yeah, we also had like, it also helps me that like Halloween Horror Nights is one of those like, okay, there's a smoking area, but really the rule is don't get caught.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Halloween Horror Nights is even though there is a smoking area, I see people like smoking straight up pot just in the middle of the fucking courtyards.
Oh yeah.
no one cares.
Yeah, those vape fumes start going, man. And like, whoa. It's like, oh, fog machine. Yeah, that's totally what it is. Yeah.
It's way more our speed anyway. Now, how can you tell? Like, again, when you have all the smoke machines anyway. So it's like, you can tell by smell, I guess.
Yeah. So once again, it's don't get caught, like that's all they really care about.
Don't get captured.
Yeah, don't get captured, just do your dirt and disappear.
Exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like, even when we were on the doing the oh god, what was the Purge experience part.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
which was the more intense one because it was like, you know, there are some times when you're expected to, you know, run.
Yes.
You know.
And it's also like we did a Halloween Horror Nights our way. You know, it was kind of our thing. So we were going there. And even though we had some stuff to record for Tony didn't really like Halloween Horror Nights. It was too much for him. So we weren't on like a schedule to hit everything. We could just hit the things we wanted to hit. And if we missed something, oh well. It's no big deal.
Yeah, there was the only thing that we knew we had to do was see the Jabberwocky show because it was the one thing Morgan really wanted to do.
That's true. That's true. We wanted to make sure Morgan got her Jabberwockies, and that was a blast.
Yeah, it was a great show. Yeah.
And it was nice because we had been walking around all day for like 3 days straight. So it was nice to just sit down and watch the Jabberwockies perform, you know?
Yeah. Although when they start doing that, everyone get up and dance. I'm like, no. I'm way too exhausted.
If this was day one of the trip, I would have got up and danced.
Yeah, no, totally. Especially when they start playing California Love.
Yeah. Day 3 of the trip, after walking around Disneyland for 3 days, recording all those lines, my voice is shot. I'm tired. I am sitting down for this whole performance.
Yeah. It's like, no, I'm just good here. You know,
exactly, 100%.
I can't. You know, well, it's that feeling of like, I get that weird feeling when I still go to a show sometimes where I'm like, I feel weird just sitting in this chair.
I know.
You know,
like I've gone to many concerts and gotten seats, and I always feel weird sitting in the seat, you know, because I'm like, it's a concert. I should be up and doing stuff. But as I've gotten older, I think I've gotten to appreciate the seats more.
Oh, yeah, no, completely and totally. Like, I just kind of miss being like, you know, 20 years old, made of rubber and just being in the pit constantly.
Yeah. Running into the pit, like bumping some elbows, getting thrown to the ground. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun time. Although I will say, like, the last time I got into the pit was, I think I was like 28. You know, was when that dude landed on me.
Yeah, that'll turn you off the pit for a while.
Yeah.
Nearly snapping your neck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it was like a dude my size, right? Like a large, like 300-pound dude. Like,
yeah, and he tried to crowd surf right behind me without telling anybody. And I'm like, no, that starts out there, dude, where someone can see you. Also, you're like over 300 pounds, man. You really got to set that up. You know, I think people would have people might even have trouble like surfing me if I don't like give someone a heads up.
I mean, fair, but you're easier than a 300-pound man. I assure you on that.
Yeah, I'm only about somewhere between 170, 180.
And I say that as someone who nearly broke his back earlier this year trying to lift you up back when you were having some health problems.
Oh, yeah. Back in January. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Oh, that was rough. Yeah. Horror Mom's like at Ink. I got knocked over in the pit. Yeah. That
sounds about right. I was so annoyed, though. I went to, I think it was an Amon or Marth show like a couple of years back, and I got seats. But there's a point in which, you know, at every concert, there's a point in which people say, get up on your feet, like, stop sitting down. And they point to different points of, like, the raptures and say, you all stand up, and, you know? And so I stood up with everyone else around me, and the guy behind me just flipped his shit and started throwing things at the back of my head for standing up. Everyone was standing up. He just happened to be behind me. So he was mad at me, trying to pick a fight with me. So I ended up sitting down, and joke's on him. He still couldn't see because the guy in front of me was standing.
Well, I mean, yeah. Like, if you stay down, everyone around you stands up. That's your point where you're just like, well, all right, fair enough. I just sit here then.
But even though I sat down, and I sat down for the rest of the show, because this happened towards the beginning of the show, he remained pissed off at me for the rest of that fucking night. And I don't know what the fuck I did. I just stood up when everyone else was standing up. That's it.
Wow.
And I understand I'm a tall person. It's hard to see above me. But this was a Mona Marth show. Everyone was a tall person, and it's hard to see above them.
Yeah. Everyone's like, yeah, well, that's a band with a certain size expectation all around, you
The
know?
funny thing is, for me, I expect if I'm going to a concert, even if I get seats at a concert, that there's going to be a point in which everyone's standing up, and if I want to sit down, I'm not going to be able to see. And I just accept that that's the case.
Yeah.
Because that's going to happen at a concert. You can't
Yeah,
avoid
yeah.
that.
That's just the way it works, you
Yep.
know?
But this guy apparently not happy about that. Threw bottles at my head and everything. It was not fun.
Oh, geez. Hope they're plastic bottles at least.
I am okay. Flat-footed, I'm 6 feet, but with my shoes, I'm about 6'1". So it was like being 6'1" in front of this guy.
Yeah, well, if you're 6 feet, I must be like under 6 feet then.
Aren't you like 5'11"? I thought you were like 5'11".
Yeah, I might be
5'10".
5'11", you know, like, yeah, it's hard for me to tell because I do like heels.
Yeah, that's true.
You
That's
know,
true.
like most of
You put on those like big boots, and you're usually like about my height or taller.
Yeah. That adds like 2-3 inches, you know,
Mhm.
whenever I do that.
He's got these awesome fire boots that are like 2 inches high off the ground. They're pretty awesome.
No, I love those things, you know. Oh, as I keep telling me, they're my 40K boots because like I
Hell
feel
yeah.
like one of those miniatures. You know?
You always put them on when you're preparing for war,
Y-
as in going out and wanting to look good.
Yes. Hey man, it's a battlefield out there.
Exactly.
Love is a battlefield, baby.
Absolutely.
Oh, bigger than a bread box. Those boots are definitely bigger than bread boxes. They're pretty large.
They're pretty big. Like I could grab them right now, but I don't feel like it.
Yeah. But even like my other dress shoes, the black ones with the crosses.
True, with the
cross
heels on them.
They still have like a pretty thick
Yeah.
heel.
That's true. That's
and that's
true.
just the way those things came, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
I
sense.
think
Makes sense.
the only time I don't do that is when I'm wearing just the street shoes, like ye old Converse.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but I used to just wear boots all the time because they were my best foot gear.
That makes
You
sense.
know,
That makes sense.
being a 90s goth, your boots were always your like I don't know how to put it. Like that was the uniform's the wrong word.
I've always heard it like referred to the boots, the leather, the chains, the spikes. It's like your armor.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, it's like your armor against the outside world.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. So like whenever I would have to suit up, you know, it's like, oh, we're going out. All right, it's war. It's like wartime. You got to fucking, put all the gear on,
Exactly.
I wear Vans.
Nice.
Do we have to fight? Oh, I hope not.
Nothing wrong with Vans.
Yeah, there was a point in time when I was like, I almost bought a pair of New Balances, actually.
That's what I just bought, actually. I have a pair of New Balance walking shoes.
Oh, how are they?
They're pretty good. They're pretty good walking shoes. I just broke them in yesterday and wore them out today when we went out, and they're pretty comfy. I'm the kind of person who buys one pair of black walking shoes that I can use for everything and then wears them down until there's holes in them and then buys a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, I do much the same. Everything else is for dress.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Although I gotta say, like, there is that part of me that is like, there's that chick part of me where it's just sort of like, ooh, new shoes.
Yeah, I get that. I get it.
Oh, Johnny Dangerously brought up Keds. Oh, let's not even go there. You a skater? You a skater like Keds are
Skater
acceptable.
detected. No shade. I actually grew up around skaters. Northern California is full of them.
Yeah.
At least they were in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, like, well, yeah. I didn't grow up
Yeah,
around here, but they were just all over the place in the 90s,
That's true. It was like the extreme sports era where like Tony Hawk was a big celebrity. So like skaters were everywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
The X Games. That was a thing back then.
I remember the X Games, and I remember it all falling completely apart because, well, yeah.
Fun fact, Tony Hawk's son and Kurt Cobain's daughter just had a kid together. They basically created like a Super Saiyan of white people.
A Super Saiyan of 90s celebrity.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've seen your
man.
shoes, Horror Mom. You do have quite the collection.
Johnny's like,
Absolutely.
he skated, but he was a filthy casual. Okay.
Makes sense. Speaking of Horror Mom, she recently encountered a rogue health bill that has made things a little difficult for her right now because on top of a lot of things that have happened in her life, such as breaking her arm and being out of work for like 3 months, she needs to be able to pay bills. And she can't pay bills if this rogue medical bill takes all of her paycheck for this month. So we have a GoFundMe in the chat. If you click that GoFundMe, if you can't donate, which we would appreciate if you could donate, at least share the campaign on social media and spread the word about it, because the more eyeballs that see it, the more chances people will donate.
Yeah.
And every little bit helps. So we would really appreciate it.
People will love you forever.
Yes.
We'll get to the
we will love you.
Love you forever. You'll get to the front every line. You'll find that special someone.
There
Maybe
you go.
not.
There you go.
But hey, we guarantee it. Not a guarantee.
Not guaranteed. Not an actual offer.
Yeah. This is not a binding contract,
Exactly.
Aren't you gonna
man.
you're supposed to be appearing on Tony's podcast in October, aren't you?
Yeah. Was it Escape from the Disney Vault? I think
Yeah.
it's called, or something like that. Yeah, we're supposed to be doing that next week, so that should be cool.
Yeah, I'd ask what movie it is, but I know how he does it. It's random.
Yeah, it's randomly selected, and I believe it's selected on the day we record, so I don't know yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you'll know. Hopefully it won't be like Spooky Buddies.
Hopefully not.
Although I will have to say, Spooky Buddies is not even. It's not the worst. It's not even the worst of the Buddies movies. It's just Hocus Pocus with dogs.
The thing is, Spooky Buddies is surprisingly watchable as a movie. It's just not a great movie. But like, if it was on, I'm not going to be offended.
Yeah.
So if that's what's picked, that's fine. But there are way worse things on like the Disney Channel, or not the Disney Channel, Disney Plus, that could be picked that would be way more insufferable. So Spooky Buddies is actually on the better end of the spectrum, to be honest.
Yeah. On the made for Disney Channel movie scale.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's not as good as like Halloween Town though.
Those are probably peak Disney Channel original movies, the 3 or 4 Halloween Town movies. There's a couple other ones. I really like the Mummy ones they made, like Under Wraps and Under Wraps 2. Those are pretty good.
Oh, I never even
for kids movies, obviously. They're not going to rock our world or anything. Right. But like, if you're showing your kid will enjoy it. They're kind of like Frankenweenie, but with a mummy. It's like
Got it. I will just never get over like watching Spooky Buddies, and we were watching it. You were like, this is just Hocus Pocus again.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about Spooky Buddies, is that it is just the Hocus Pocus plot redone with dogs.
Yeah, to the point where there is a spell cast over adults who dance all night.
Yeah, they sing a song very similar to the "I Put a Spell on You" song. I put a spell on you scene. It's very uncanny.
Yeah, and like strangely, the best part of the movie was like random neighbor guy dressed up as Frankenstein.
Cute little cat girl. I have not actually read the comic for Willy's Wonderland, though I've gotten a lot of comments about it, so maybe I should, just so I could actually answer those comments.
Yeah, maybe you'll get lucky and get Watcher in the Woods. Whoa, Watcher in the Woods is actually a legitimate.
That'd be a good pick.
Movie. Yeah.
Oh, I remember Phantom of the Megaplex. That one's okay. It's not the worst.
Man, you're bringing out movies that I've never even heard of. Phantom of the Multiplex.
Some of these were just Disney Channel original movies when I was a kid, and there's been plenty since then that I don't know because I'm an adult now.
Oh,
okay. Don't Look Under the Bed was one when I was a kid, and that's actually one of the better ones, up there with the Halloween Town ones.
Yeah, I remember Nickelodeon tried to get in on that action to
Hmm.
varying degrees of not doing as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Nickelodeon's live action stuff is they aren't as good at it as Disney is, which is weird to say because I'm not saying all of Disney live action stuff is good. like, but like, I guess if you're a kid, sure. Um,
yeah, basically Phantom of the Opera, but set in a movie theater. Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah, for kids. Emphasis on for
For
kids.
kids,
Yeah.
okay, so it's not like Fade to Black for kids, because
No.
I think that would, yeah, Halloween Tree. Well, that's not Disney, but like,
No, but Disney has a lot of movies ever since they folded in Fox and stuff. I don't know if that's one of them. Because they've got a lot of basically in a lot of countries Hulu doesn't exist and there's just Disney Plus. So there's a lot of stuff on Disney Plus that's also on Hulu.
yeah,
Um,
the Keenan and Kel Halloween special. Actually, funny, that was the exact one I was thinking of when I mentioned the
there you
Nickelodeon
go.
ones.
Yeah,
Because it had Michael Berryman in it, and I was
that's
like,
true. It did.
I'm watching it, and I'm like, hey, Hills Have I guy is in this. Like, what the fuck, So like,
I
they
actually straight up
tried,
the Halloween Town movies. I had a straight up crush on the main character in that when I was a kid. I don't know why.
Probably like I had a crush on Veruza Bulk for the longest time.
Yeah, yeah.
You
There's something
know,
about little witch girls.
Winona Ryder in Beetlejuice.
Yeah, yeah.
Her and Edward Scissorhands, not so much.
Yeah, she's it's the blonde hair and the fact that she's not as gothy in that one,
Yeah, yeah. Also, like the bleach blonde hair made her eyebrows look really big and dark.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
It was just it was like I was just staring at her eyebrows the entire time, going,
What are
what are
those?
those? Like, what the hell's
That
going
can
on?
You know who else has that problem? Kiernan Shipka. When she dyes her hair different colors, her eyebrows really stand out.
Yes. Yeah, like when she was Sabrina, it wasn't
Mhm.
that bad because
No.
like, okay, she's supposed to look a little creepy, right? She's Sabrina
Yeah.
the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, yeah.
But in what was it? The Back to the Future horror movie that she did.
Oh, yes. Shit. It's not Slash of the Future. God damn it. What's the name of that damn movie?
Yeah.
Help us, chat. I'm forgetting the name of the movie.
It was like Time and Again or something like that, or it
I
was
really enjoyed that
obviously supposed to
movie.
be Slash to the Future.
I really enjoyed that movie, but I'm now spacing out on its name off the top of my head.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, someone's mentioning Jennifer Connelly. Oh, now there is. Yeah.
Totally Killer. That's the name of the movie.
Totally
There you
Killer.
go.
That's right.
Thank you, Alexander.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, it was Totally Killer. The funny thing is her hair is usually not her natural color. So when Long Legs.
Yes.
When
yes.
Long Legs happened, I completely did not recognize her.
Well, she's like so like made up, even though it's like still her face. She's got such pale makeup on everything that she kind of looks like a different person, to be honest.
Yeah. You were like, oh, hey, it's Kiernan Shipka. And I was like, it is?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right.
What is it, like dirtsy, flirtsy angel bitch or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
She calls her something like that in that movie. Where she's all of a sudden talking like a Dr. Seuss, like the horror movie.
Yeah, oh my God. I saw a name. I don't know whose name it was. I just saw the name and I was like, God damn it. This name's brilliant. Triceratopless.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I was like, God damn it. That is a great name.
Is that like a stripper name or like a drag name? Because it would work for either.
I wasn't sure which one it was. I was trying to figure out. I was like, is this a drag artist, a stripper, or like a
It
stripper
also worked for a porn
cosplayer who does
star.
dinosaurs, does sexy dinosaur costumes. Like, what's going on? What is this? You know, Die Too Dangerously. I like to say crossover between Totally Killer and Happy Death Day.
You and the people who made those movies, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man. Aren't they supposed to be doing like a third Happy Death Day movie? Or
Oh, there was supposed to be, but he's working on a different movie right now that I'm forgetting the name of. And there's actually another movie with a similar premise to Totally Killer that's going to be coming out. They were kind of okay. This is the weird thing. Totally Killer was made, and a year before that, they went into production on a movie with a similar premise to Totally Killer. So we kind of have like a Deep Impact Armageddon thing going on. But the difference between this other movie that's coming out is that it is a 90s Back to the Future-esque movie.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to an 80s one. So it's going to be so the past they're going into in this new one that's coming out, I forget what it's called, is going to be them going to the 90s.
Got it. Man, just fucking random thought.
Yeah.
Now, we all know who to blame.
Okay.
But it amuses me to no end that podcast bro is now a punchline.
Oh, yeah. Every bro out there has a podcast.
Yeah. To the point where there was I heard a joke on like some random show, which is like, well, you could start a podcast, and she's like, I can't pull off a baseball cap. And I was like,
it's the Joe Rogan effect, right?
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan slowly rises to being the most popular podcast of all time, and then gets that like multi-million-dollar deal with fucking Spotify that set him for life. And everyone looks at that and goes like, I could do that. I mean, just fucking set up some microphones and maybe some cameras if I want to upload it to YouTube too. And, I could do a podcast.
Yeah.
And so every fucking dude did,
Yeah. And it turns out there's a huge aspect of luck, right place, right time, and the magical X factor. You know?
And there's also having something to say is, I think, another factor in it. And that's one reason why I don't really feel the need to start a podcast if I'm doing my YouTube show, because I like everything I want to say, I say on my YouTube show about movies, right? You know? So I don't know what the point would be to start a podcast just to say everything I already say on my show.
Yeah. Like, I don't mind talking to people on a podcast, but like I remember when everyone was telling me to do one, and I'm like, no.
Basically what we do is practically like a low-key podcast anyway, so I don't know why anyone needs us to do more than that.
Exactly.
Like just doing like this live stream right now where we're sitting here talking, and then it uploads to your fucking YouTube channel. Like that's like a low-key podcast. Put it on, listen to it. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles of like a podcast intro and a podcast outro or whatever, but it's kind of like a low-key podcast. Same thing with our vlogs that we put on YouTube. I don't see the point in doing more than that.
And on those we have a built-in subject.
Yes,
it's like,
and they're channels that we built up over a decade. So there's an audience there.
So it works out. What's your subscriber number up to at this point
on YouTube?
I
don't know off the top. I can look it up right now.
Yeah, we need the uncensored Jackula farts. No, you don't.
It looks like I have 23,163.
Okay,
as of today. So
nice. Yeah, you don't need uncensored my farts. Like Horror Guru could tell you don't need that shit in your.
Dude is the master of like the fart that moves his entire body. This man farts and his entire body does like a fucking Mario jump. And then there's be like a minute of silence, and then the worst fucking stank you've ever smelled. And he'll just be like, my bad.
Sorry about that. You know, like, well, yeah. Particularly if I've had a lot of roughage.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
lot of
absolutely.
vegetables. Then it's just like
Garlic or like something super greasy. It's
yep,
inevitable.
yep, yeah. No, so no, Victor, you don't need that. The Time Cut is the Netflix one. It's similar to Totally Killer, but they go back to 2003.
That's the one. Oh, I guess they're going to the 2000s instead of the 90s.
Oh, okay. Time Cut.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 2003 is now like the past.
Yep. And that one, I believe, is one of the people involved in Happy Death Day is working on that. But the thing is, half of the people that made Happy Death Day made Totally Killer, and the other half are making Time Cut. And they had like these two ideas. or I guess the same idea, but slightly different executions.
So it's like Tina and Nightmare on Elm Street with Jack Farts. Wait, which one was Tina?
Was Tina the first kill, the one that's like dragged across the ceiling, or am I mixing up my Nightmare on Elm Street kills? I don't know.
Huh.
We
like
miss
my
you
son
too, Horror
after
Mom.
a pot pie.
Hopefully we'll get you out here in November, Horror Mom. We'll see how things work out.
Yeah. I'll never forget the I'm angry.
I'm angry. So yeah, I like Horror Mom's child, Horror Kid, as he has been dubbed in the Slut Pit this very stream. He wanted a pot pie. So Horror Mom bought him a pot pie. But then he didn't want to eat the pot pie because he didn't like it. So Horror Kid's grandpa is like, hey, I'll eat the pot pie. So Horror Kid hands the pot pie over to Horror Grandpa. Horror Grandpa eats the pot pie. About 30 minutes pass. Horror Kid, where's my pot pie? Grandpa, well, I ate the pot pie. You gave it to me. And then Horror Kid starts to throw the temper tantrum of the century. I want my pot pie. I want my pot pie. I am angry. And then when he shouts the words, I am angry, the loudest, wettest fart you've ever heard in your life was let out. And the entire room has this moment of dead silence before everyone burst out laughing. But then, as we're laughing, there's this moment where we smell it. We smell the fart, and we realize that was not a fart. And poor Horror Kid needed an emergency diaper change that day. So.
Oh my God, man! Something I'd love to talk about, but unfortunately, we probably can't because not enough people have seen the movie.
Yeah.
Was that Substance, man?
The Substance. Oh man! If you out there have not seen The Substance, let us know in the chat, and we'll not like try to spoil anything for you. But man, talk about horror movie of the year, right?
Yeah.
Like, and we've seen a lot of good horror movies this year. It's been a pretty good year for theatrically released horror.
Yeah.
Substance, man. That went extra.
Super extra. That movie went from good to gooder.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That took things to a whole new level. Yeah,
that's right. Horror Mom threw Horror Kid in the shower after that. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Just get that power washing going. And there was that. The one we saw before that was Cuckoo, which was amazing.
That was great.
And before that was the one before that was Long Legs.
There was also Strange Darling in the middle of there, which was also a really good one.
Right. Yeah. Strange Darling, which
hell yeah.
I had no idea where that movie was going.
No, me either. And I'm glad I didn't, because those were some awesome developments.
Yeah. Is it Terrifier 3 is supposed to be out in October?
Yeah, that's coming out next week. Unfortunately, we might have to go on a day other than Tuesday, because on Tuesday I'm recording that podcast.
Right.
So we
Got
might have
it.
to go one of the more expensive days for Terrifier 3. Tomorrow, if things work out, we're probably going to see Azrael.
Yeah.
If my Patreon money comes in and I can actually afford to go see it.
Yeah. Let's see. As
That's the one from the director of Cheap Thrills, starring Samara Weaving.
right. Right. It's a period piece, isn't it?
No, it's a Azrael is a post-rapture, post-apocalyptic movie where Samara plays a character named Azrael who's running from an evil cult.
Oh.
An evil cult that exists in the post-raptured world. So they've all been not raptured.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I have not seen Never Let Go yet, but it wasn't playing near us, so we haven't had the opportunity yet.
Yeah, that was I was actually surprised that one wasn't playing near us.
I know it's an Alexander Aja film, I believe, and I usually love his movies. So
yeah. Like I doubt it'll be the crowd pleaser The Substance was.
No, but I'm
'cause
sure when that one
not
hits
really his
streaming,
bag,
when that one hits streaming, we'll definitely watch it and most likely do some content on it. But
and yes, Maxine was this year.
Yes, that was another one we watched, and that was my previous favorite movie of the year until The Substance came along.
Yeah, man, I can't even.
Yep.
I'm hoping there's monsters in Azrael.
I don't know, but everyone I know that have seen it, once again, much like with Strange Darling and The Substance, said, don't look up too much of it, just go in blind. Which the last two times someone said that to me was Strange Darling and The Substance. So
right, so that was good advice both times.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Timothy McSweeney says, I finally got around to watching The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot.
That movie's fucking wild.
Yeah, that was
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Yeah,
he plays the man who did all that.
Have not seen Mr. Crockett. Have not seen Mr. Crockett. That's another one I don't even know I don't even think it's.
Am I broadcasting from my lair? You mean like the room next to Jack?
Yeah, that would be. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh God.
Oh yeah, Late Night with the Devil, which before Maxine was one of my favorite movies.
Damn, that was good. It's been a good year.
Yeah. I've been keeping like a top list of my favorite horror movies of the year, and I have way more than 10 now, and I have no idea how I'm gonna narrow it down to 10. And I don't have to. I just do it just for the sake to say, hey, here's my favorite 10 on social media.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we totally saw El Conde.
Yeah, El Conde was great. That was last year, I believe. And we actually did a whole video on it.
We totally did, because like that was South American, and there were a lot of South American horror movies that were made last year.
It was weird because it was released on Netflix as a Netflix original, but it wasn't. It was one they bought from Chile or wherever the movie came from.
It was Chile. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. They bought it on the festival circuit, so it was weird to be like, Netflix. I'm like, what?
Horrible mentions. Okay, most likely I'm just going to post a top 20 this year because there's just too many good ones.
Yeah. Last night, Horror Guru saw the Uzumaki anime last night.
Yeah, I watched the first episode. It was really good.
Yeah. Now that's
100%.
one that they're putting out like weekly, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you to anyone who has either donated or is going to donate to Rachel's GoFundMe campaign. Every little bit helps. And again, if you can share it on social media, that would also help a lot. If I can have Jack put it back in the chat again.
Yeah, we can do that. Bam, there we go.
There we go. Jack just posted the GoFundMe campaign. Click on that. Donate to it if you can. Every little bit helps. And if you can't, share it everywhere. Give the most amount of eyeballs to see it as possible, because she could use the help.
By the way, what is the picture of this?
I believe that's her broken arm from when she or the splinted arm, because she broke her arm like 3 months ago and then was out of work for 3 months before this happened.
Whoa. Yikes.
So I believe that's the X-ray of the arm splint on the arm.
That looks freaky. Yeah. That looks freaky.
Yep.
So, oh God, that's right. Nosferatu's still coming out later this year.
I know, that's another one that I'm like, this one might blow my mind. They just released a extended trailer for it, and it looks so good.
Man.
I don't want to see anything else though. I'm like,
yeah,
I've already seen too much.
Nosferatu.
The teaser was actually enough for me. I didn't even need the extended trailer, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, it's like, well, it's Nosferatu. It's got Boom Dafoe in it.
But I understand they have to sell it to the rest of the world and not just hardcore horror geeks like me. So,
that's always the rub, Yep. That's the part that's always hard, because that is. Oh, you're also going to watch Hellboy and the Crooked Man. Oh, God damn it. That's right.
I don't know if we're going to make that in theaters just because we have so many other movies this month to catch up on.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to do Azrael this week and most likely Terrifier next week. I don't know if we're going to have time for Hellboy and the Crooked Man.
Yeah, that's...
If we do have time for it, I'm down for it, but...
Yeah. I just wish... Oh, man, I kind of wish we could afford...
That's the other part of it,
again,
is we have to, like... That's the other part of it. We have to like ration our money to go see the individual movies, because we're actually seeing them in theaters as opposed to just streaming them,
Yeah, man, I miss getting. I will say this: I miss getting screeners for shit.
Yeah, I occasionally get them, but it's like not for the stuff that we really, really super want.
Yeah,
like I'll get a streamer for some like really low budget uncorked movie that may be fine, but it's not the substance. It's not.
Yeah. Don't forget Salem's Lot in a few days. Oh no, I haven't forgotten that.
That one I believe is going straight to streaming, so we'll be able to watch that regardless.
Yeah. Isn't that a show, or is it just a movie?
I'm pretty sure it's a movie, but I might be wrong.
Look that up.
Last night I actually watched the prequel to Rosemary's Baby, Apartment 7A, and it was actually pretty good. I actually enjoyed it. It has the same problem that every prequel has, where like there's only one way this could end. So, because that's where the other movie picked off.
You're right. It is a movie. Okay.
But much like the first Omen, like I ended up really enjoying it, and I was surprised at how good it was. It's a very different approach. The first Omen's like recreating a 1970s sequel as if it were made back then, whereas Apartment 7A is a much flashier, stylish prequel to Rosemary's Baby and feels a lot more updated as a result.
Let's see.
Joker 2, yeah, that's another one. Fuck, yeah.
That didn't come out. That didn't come out already.
No,
right?
No. Joker 2 is this. I think it's either this week or next week.
Man,
I know. Absolutely. Again, there's so many movies. I don't know if we're gonna make it to Hellboy, but I want to see Hellboy.
Yeah,
I want to see Hellboy. We'll see. Maybe we can do a double feature at one of these days. My problem is I have a podcast scheduled for the cheap day next Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's kind of throwing off some of our plans.
Oh my God. Oh, looking at the new Hellboy Crooked Man trailer. What the?
It's an actual horror movie this time around, so that's gonna be interesting. Did you get to the snake bit?
Yes.
Coming out of her. Yeah.
Whoa. Oh.
I know, right?
Hey. All right then. I guess that's what we're gonna be doing.
And that's not even counting all the movies that we're gonna catch up on that are straight to streaming, like the new VHS film and stuff. There's a lot coming out. It's a packed month.
How do you know that?
Dark things called dark things.
Oh man, it's so weird. Like,
Most just called him the Crooked Man.
Yeah.
it's so weird that like Mike Mignola is not a fan of that Del Toro Hellboy movie.
I don't know if he hates them. I just think he would prefer if it was more like his vision. You know, like those are Del Toro's movies.
Yeah,
where
very
Mike
much
really
so.
wants Mike's Hellboy on the big screen, and I get that. I get it. But I kind of really like Del Toro's take on those characters a little bit more than Mike's.
Yeah.
Which I feel bad saying because I love Mike's.
Yeah, it's good, but it's all the little, sometimes all those dumb little character touches really matter.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like giving Hellboy the thing about cats.
Mhm.
You know, like that was a cool touch, you know.
There's just a heart to the way Del Toro tells stories and crafts characters that like no one else can do the way he does. And it means only a Del Toro movie will scratch the Del Toro movie itch.
Oh,
and that
yeah.
includes a Del Toro Hellboy movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, looking forward to VHS Beyond. Yeah, me too. That
Me
one's
too.
supposed to be set in space.
Yep. And that one, I believe, is in like a couple days.
Yeah.
On Shudder. I think it's this Friday or something.
Yeah. I think In Salem's Lot come out on the same day.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's Beyond.
I feel like there was a Monkey's Paw.
Yeah. Oh, it's the day after. It's.
I feel like there was a Monkey's Paw. Jack and I usually complain that they don't release horror movies in October. They always release them leading up to October. This month, there actually is a lot of horror movies being released in October, but we have so little time to actually cover them.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, it looks like Salem's Lot is the 3rd and VHS Beyond is the 4th.
There we go.
So
Rock on.
yeah, I think Tuesday and Friday. Oh no, Wednesday and Thursday. No wait.
Maybe this.
No. I was right the first time. Thursday and Friday.
Well, if we don't burn out in the process, then maybe this month will be the month of 3 vlogs recorded in a row.
Yeah.
Like we did sometimes in the past.
Yeah.
We've been doing 2 recently because it's just easier and it's an easier thing to keep up on. But maybe for October.
We'll
We've already got
do
2
more.
that we watched the other day, and if we do Azrael on top of that, then we're gonna have 3 this week anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, if any of you have seen A Most Atrocious Thing, it's like this low budget stoner movie made by a bunch of 20-somethings on like a 0-nothing budget, and it is surprisingly fun. And if you need to give an idea of like what kind of like movie it is, let's just say Lloyd Kaufman makes a cameo appearance to put his stamp of approval in the movie.
Oh yeah. A
But
Most
it's kinda
Atrocious
like-
Thing is really good. That's a movie that I'm like, God damn it. I wish we had made that movie. You know what I mean?
I know. It's super low budget. Everything is amateur as fuck. The deer puppet, because there's an evil deer god in the movie, is fucking ridiculous looking, but it's got such heart and charm to it. It's kind of like someone wanted to make an Evil Dead-esque movie with a killer deer, but they were also really big fans of Kevin Smith movies. So they kind of wrote the stoner comedy version with Kevin Smith dialogue of that concept. It's a fun movie. But we're probably going to vlog that this week with Beazel and Azrael. Those are probably 3 we're going to record in a couple days.
Cute little cat girl's telling me about a movie called Seven Cemeteries. It stars the
Ooh.
Danny Trejo.
Is that one going to streaming or is it going to be in theaters? I'm
No.
guessing streaming.
I'm
if it's a
guessing,
Trejo
yeah.
vehicle.
I'm guessing streaming. Oh yeah. Oh, in theaters and on demand on October 11th.
Okay, if it's on demand, then we could definitely watch it. Like, we have to be selective with theater showings.
Yeah, it looks like 2 rival Mexican zombie gangs.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I could enjoy that. Absolutely.
Oh man. Oh, okay. Yes. Looking kind of cool.
Absolutely.
It might be vampires.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Like a From Dusk Till Dawn kind of thing going on.
Yeah. Well, there's a woman with a giant cross that looks like a stake. So, like, I'm assuming some sort of vampire hijinks at some point.
Well, I know that movie is going to be intense because there's so much at stake. You're welcome.
All day with this. All day with this. It's all day with this. You know, like I think I'm going to get through one day without some horrible pun. Just never happens. Never
Hey, Jack.
happens. What?
It's me, Satan.
Okay, Ace Frehley. You know.
Oh man.
Oh god. What was that
Yeah?
for, that Ace Frehley bit? Was that Trick or Treat?
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to throw in as many rock references into that video as possible. And then I made more Metasploitation videos and had to come up with more puns and concepts.
Yeah. Daddy's Head. This one I haven't even heard of. AMC.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay.
What's that one?
Boy and his stepmother are haunted by a terrifying creature that bears a resemblance to his recently deceased father.
Okay.
Daddy.
All right.
Directed by Benjamin Barfoot.
Isaac has
It's a
Rock
Shudder original coming also on October 11th.
Someone.
Oh, Shudder original. That's gonna be
Yeah.
easy as fuck to
I can't do this.
Oh.
watch.
He's barely spoken to me since we got
Oh yeah,
back.
we still gotta finish.
Will
You
come.
started
Oh!
watching The Demon Disorder.
The Demon
and
Disorder.
he got really tired.
And I was so tired, I just passed out. And I was like, okay, we got to do this another time. Like, that was shaping up really well, too.
It's a wild Australian demonic body horror movie, and I can't recommend it enough.
Isaac.
Man.
He's in the forest.
All right, we're about at the Daddy's Head trailer where it should be about to go ape shit.
Do you think you could draw him for me?
About to go ape shit.
Yep. All right, there's
I
a
see.
head.
You're obviously
Kid's drawing a picture of a monster.
He needs love.
He look. Whoa.
There's a knife missing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like a possession movie.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Come. Don't be scared.
Ah. Ah.
So interesting being on the other end here and not being able to hear what you're hearing.
Yeah. Grief. Let's see. The tagline is grief comes in many forms.
Okay.
Everyone must know you.
Form of a dragon.
Form of a dragon. Form of. Well, that would be home movies.
Oh yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Cute little cat girl wants you to bring up the trailer. I don't know if you could do that.
That I'm feeling a little like shy about that right now because
Fair.
I got dinged by YouTube the other day.
Yeah, you don't want to do anything that's gonna
Yeah.
knock your channel. Part of the fucking annoying grind.
Yeah. Yeah. I need a voice changer too. How much was the one that you use?
Okay, so this one I bought in installments from Amazon, like $50 installments over the course of a couple months. It was $500.
Oh, geez.
I believe it's been on sale for $250 recently. So if you can find that sale, you might be able to get it.
Okay, well, I'll handle that later. Yeah, see how that is. I probably I had to get a sound wave, man.
Yes.
I had to get a sound wave. Like earlier today we walked into this shop.
Yes, like the Japanese like toy shop. That was
Yeah.
a cool place.
Yeah, and the guy had in a huge case this San Diego Comic-Con 2014 exclusive Transformers set that
With the hair metal box.
yeah, and the whole idea is like it's Transformers, but they're a hair metal band, and they transform into like they still transform into like cars and shit, but like
You know those like big black crates with like the metal edges that all the musicians use to carry their equipment? It comes in a box like that.
yeah, and it has like a fake album cover,
Mhm.
a fake CD cover, a fake ticket, you know, a fake CD insert, like a fake backstage pass, you know, like two posters.
It's really cool.
It's
It's really
yeah,
fucking cool.
it was like $700, but I'm like,
and that's before you get to the Transformers themselves.
yeah,
like the little figures.
which were also really neat, you know, which
Yeah.
were also really cool. It was just like, man,
They
like,
were also the one thing he didn't let us touch for understandable
well, for
reasons.
understandable
They might-
reasons.
They might break.
Yeah, but they were like in that nice foam insert, you
Mhm.
know, like they were guitars or something, you know, like
They were really dope as hell. I
so
like that.
cool. Like I really like stuff like that, you know. I just don't get to. I just can't
That
get
store
enough
had
of
a
it.
lot of cool finds.
It did.
Like a lot of like they had like old figures from like the old Godzilla releases back in the 90s.
Yep.
Like they were like $300 for them, but they were cool.
Yeah, and they had these. I didn't even know they made this, but they had like one of the giant, like almost marionette, complete marionette size thing from the Corpse Bride.
Yes, I saw that. That was pretty cool. They also had like a gigantic Optimus.
Yeah,
It's
a
huge as
huge
hell.
Optimus Prime that like doesn't transform, but like you know, it was
Oh, yeah.
still like
At that big, I would be really cool if it could.
yeah,
Like imagine if you could turn it into like a little like a truck that you could sit in.
yeah. Well, like the thing I always wanted them to make, but
Yeah.
and they did, but now they're super expensive, like collector's items.
Mhm.
Was the Matrix of Leadership, like you know, like
Oh, man.
actually like big enough to hold?
That would have been cool. That
Yeah,
would have been really cool.
yeah, that'd be pretty dope. You know, I'm actually surprised something they didn't make back in the day was
Yeah.
a like action figure case shaped like the Matrix of Leadership.
Ooh, that's a cool idea.
Remember action figure cases?
That's a
you
cool
know?
idea. I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Or shaped like Unicron's head. You know, something cool, but like, no, they didn't do that. They didn't do that.
It's unfortunate. It's
But
unfortunate.
yeah, it's unfortunate. You know, yeah. Gen X nostalgia, but Gen X nostalgia is a powerful thing. Who knows?
It is a powerful thing because here's the thing: as Gen Xers get older and they start retiring, and they've got a lot of money to spend on hobbies,
Yeah,
that means there's a market for it, right?
yeah,
You know?
yeah. I think we're like, I think we spend more on our hobbies than the boomers did, to be totally honest.
Well, they're kind of like
know.
the first generation to grow up with all the like those specific types of toy figures, right?
Yeah,
Like there's actually like boutique shops that make like those vintage figures the way they were back then. Exactly
yeah,
as is.
like Super 7.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and thank God there's so many things I want. I still want that like Run the Jewels Krang that they made.
Hell yeah. God, when we were in that shop, it took everything in my power not to buy one of those Luffy hats.
I know, right? Oh,
I was like,
that was the other thing. They had that that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like 20-inch
Yes.
action figure.
it was gigantic. It was fucking huge. It's like half my goddamn body. And it's like a figure of one of Donatello from the live action movie.
Yeah.
And so it's like a very painstakingly like recreated like version of him. And it looks exactly like the movie.
Yeah.
It's really fucking cool.
Yeah, it's like I remember back when Meltdown Comics still existed, and we went there and they had that original suit animatronic for Michelangelo. And it was like, you could tell it's like falling apart a bit, but like it was still pretty much in one piece. They also had that the Dren, the embryo Dren,
dude,
which he offered it to me for like $300, but I didn't have $300.
Back in the day when that movie first came out, I went to a horror convention. Someone had a plushie for them, and I couldn't afford it at the time. And I wish I could, because I've never seen it since.
I know.
A plushie of Dren.
I know. They like, there's this, man. I remember so many people complained about that movie, and I was just...
Splice is funny because it like got like a weird negative reaction when it came out, but then it developed a cult following. But then there was this weird period like 7 years ago where young Gen Zers were discovering the movie on TikTok. And they were like losing their goddamn minds at this absurd movie where someone creates this monster and then fucks it.
Yeah. Whereas I found myself going like, no, that's what you do. That's how you make a movie, like, ain't you never seen From Beyond? Oh,
and
wait,
now the
Gen
movie's
Z
more
from
popular
Beyond.
than ever.
Yeah.
And now, like a lot of movies from that period of time, it's more popular than ever now. So, hey.
Yeah.
Sometimes time heals wounds.
Yeah.
Looks like you got a D&D question in the chat.
Oh, Jack, have you seen the art in the D&D 5.5? Neat. I have not. I've kind of like, I'm kind of moving on to Pathfinder because it is significantly cheaper. If you buy these pocket editions. And money is a big deal. Money matters to me right now.
Yeah, understandably so.
Yeah. What's the point?
Thank you, Johnny Too Dangerously, for sharing the GoFundMe of Horror Mom. In fact, Jack, can you put the GoFundMe back in the chat? Horror Mom recently experienced a medical emergency that has caused her great financial strife. So we are trying to help her out by helping get people to donate to her GoFundMe campaign. So if you will please, Jack has just put it in the chat.
Yep.
If you can spare some dollars, every little bit helps. But if not, at least share the GoFundMe campaign on social media so that more eyeballs see it, so that we have more chances of people donating to it, because she needs it. Otherwise, she's not going to be able to pay rent this month, and that's not good. So,
yeah.
Thank you all in advance.
Indeed. Oh, man. Oh, geez.
You just found the Dren plushie? Holy crap. Linked it to me on Discord. Thank you so much. I'll have to... Ooh. Ooh. All right, I'll look at that later. Sweet. Absolutely, Horror Mom. Money matters to us all.
Yeah.
It makes the world go round.
Or Dren Splice. Wow! Good God. There's a $300 one that comes in a dress and everything. Oh, man. Oh, okay. There's the actual plushie. Come on. You can do it. That's $70. Okay.
When I saw Splice back in the day, it was a movie I went on a date with one of my ex-girlfriends, and there's a point in the movie when there is two little Dren embryos and they like fight like in a cage match inside this little container when they try to do the presentation of the two Drens. And the reason why they fight is because like one was supposed to be female and they were supposed to like mate and create a new one, but like it changed genders, so like they were both male, and so they got aggressive and fought each other. And my girlfriend at the time was like, "Oh, it was adorable. It was like a little monster version of the Crying Game inside there."
Oh my God.
It's perfectly fine, Horror Mom. We are glad to help.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
What is this?
What did you find?
Oh,
Will you share with the
someone's
class?
making. Oh, yeah, they're making another Devastator. That's what I found.
Oh, I see.
Well, apparently that's a figure I can buy 5 times. You know, Dixie. No, I've only bought it 3 times. I've only bought it 3 times.
3 times.
But
3
yeah,
times.
yeah. I have
Just 3.
just 3, just 3. There's the original G1 and the G2, and then the I think it was Combiner Wars Devastator
Okay.
that I bought
All right.
years ago.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I did a video on that, I think.
Rock
like
on.
I
I know you. I remember you doing a video on one of them. I don't remember.
yeah,
which one it
yeah,
was.
that was the Combiner Wars one. Like,
Gotcha.
the funny thing is, because I've been getting like, some of these Transformers, I have been like thinking, yeah, those Plays with Toys videos were kind of fun.
Man,
weren't like,
back in the day of Jack Plays with Toys.
yeah,
Those were fun.
yeah, just like, oh, do stupid voices and stuff, you know.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Like, if you just want to have fun and open the toys and then play with them.
Yeah,
I
record
don't see
that,
nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
make a little video. Like, yeah, maybe, One of the funny thing is that the YouTuber I now watch the most is that guy Jobby the Hong, who just reviews toys, primarily Transformers, but also other things.
Yeah.
Because watching him makes me go like, oh man, I remember that feeling. I remember that. Just just being weird in front of the camera. Like that somehow became a lost art. I don't know how. Because it used to be what YouTube was made of. Like
That's true. That's true. It's definitely become a lot more corporatized now as productions have gotten a lot more professional in nature.
a lot more slick, and it became and all that money got pumped into like right-wing grifters, and that really was awful.
It's why I understand why so many YouTubers eventually, like, they hire a team, they have like editors, they have like cinematographers, they have like a whole team to produce their videos so they can keep up with the grind and all that stuff. I understand why they do it. My problem is that every time a YouTuber I like makes the transition into that phase of their career, I find myself less interested in their videos than it was just them and a camera, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Because there's this weird, there is a charm to it. There is a charm to doing that well.
100%. It's just harder to keep up when you're on your own. So I understand why they make the decision, but man, is it much more like relatable and fun to watch someone just turning on the camera and making dumb shit in their room.
Yeah. With just like the shittiest green screen,
Yeah, exactly. I do think though that was another factor that happened over time, was that you were always very worried about stealing from other people's content.
Yeah.
Like, you're always worried that you would take jokes or take ideas and stuff like that. But at the same time, having known you as long as I have, I know that you get inspired by watching other things. And
True.
There's this weird feedback loop where you're worried that you were going to steal from them, but that also meant you stopped watching them. And when you stopped watching them, you stopped getting inspired to make things like it, if that makes sense.
That does make sense, actually. Yeah, that was another factor of it,
Yeah. It's a small thing, but it's a thing that kind of built up over time.
Yeah, because if I were to do it again, it would have to be like, no, just using the things that like we already have are really cheap and easy to get.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like you just watched that one guy making his toy videos or whatever, and it was like, oh man, I could do that and sit down or whatever, because you're watching him and you're enjoying him doing it, and he kind of brought that magic back. But if you were to stop watching him, you wouldn't be as inspired.
Right.
know?
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it really is kind of nice to watch. It's nice to watch someone be goofy.
It is.
You
It
know,
really is.
you know,
Like, I understand
like
why so much
even his whole thing, about like, it's like, although I don't understand why we have to make our robots so horny. Yes, I do. Don't judge me. Shut up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is a lost art to dumb shit on the internet. As we used to say all the time, we're just making dumb shit on the internet. And that's another thing that happens, I find, when a lot of YouTubers, they get the teams and they become more of a serious production. The tone also changes.
Yeah.
It's less
does.
dumb and it starts to take on a more serious tone. And I understand why it happens. I'm just sad every time it does, because like a charm is kind of like you have like these charm points, and a charm gets taken away with every little like addition to that.
Yeah, and you feel like something fundamental has gone missing.
Yeah.
And the people who are really good are the people who are able to hold on to that while going on to that next level of whatever the fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it is hard. Another example, Danger Dolan. Oh, yeah. I was not the biggest fan of Danger Dolan, but yeah, I see the comparison. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you ever think we'll get a Transformer Sentinel like the X-Men Sentinel, but as a Transformer? Oh, do you mean like one of like that size? Or because there are Transformers that are that big. They tend to be of things like Unicron, but like there's like a 3-foot tall Unicron figure that Hasbro made. That was like $600. But that there's another one that is apparently as big, more durable, but is only like $300.
Oh, okay.
But one of the problems I have with buying it, despite there's the cost, obviously, right? The other problem is this, and put it where? Because that's one that needs to be, that's a big enough thing that it needs a place to go, and there's nowhere.
It's the problem with really big figures and really big things like that. It's like, I only have so much space to put things.
Yeah, and I can't just put that like on a table or move it around. It's gigantic,
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Just a Sentinel that can transform?
I like that idea.
Yeah. I do. There is a figure called Sentinel Prime that transforms into a giant spaceship. They have 3 giant spaceships, actually. They have Sentinel Prime, the Ark, which is the Autobot ship, and then the Nemesis, which is the Decepticon ship. Those are, that and Unicron, I think, are the largest Transformers toys they've made that actually transform.
Makes sense. Makes sense. It's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of...
Absolutely.
Jobby was actually working on one of them. He was like, God damn it, there's only one thing I wish this Unicron did. Yeah. And that is light up.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
you could you're in a dark room, like turn him on, he like light up like in the movie after he's devoured the planet of Lithon.
Hang it from the ceiling or some shit and like...
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe get like a bootleg audio thing in there. It's like recording from the movies, so you have like fucking Orson Welles saying like, "Oh, Unicron,"
Do they have like Death Stars like that have like a light up area where the laser's supposed to go? Because that'd be really cool.
They should. Come on. Let's look at the, let's see, light up Death Star. No, apparently. There are Death Star lights.
See, that is a missing market right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. Light is not enough. 3D illusion lamp. Planet lamp with 16 colors. No, not like not a toy. Light up Death Star
Okay.
replica. Hold on. No. No.
Not quite. Not quite.
Not quite. Oh well. Oh, Death Star. Oh, Death Star. I don't even know. Just Death Star, you know?
No problem, Horror Mom. And it looks like we're about halfway to reaching the goal. So, hey, so far so good over the past couple days of this GoFundMe campaign.
Yeah, a little over halfway there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, I see Varen Kimball he donated a couple days ago. Okay. Looking for Alrighty. They know they're Democratic. Their nerds love shit light. I know I do. I know I do. You know, I love all kinds of shit. I got to repair that Megatron head that lights up. Speaking of which.
Does it not light up anymore?
Well, I don't know what went wrong.
Yeah.
Because it lit up for a while and then died. And I don't know what happened. I'm like, do I have to buy another one?
Do they make replacement light up heads?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Well, that's something.
I don't know if they're still available. But I know that they make them.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Absolutely.
I'm like, did I put the wrong kind of battery in and it like blew out the LED? You know, like
it's possible. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Light up Megatron.
It might have just been faulty wiring on the one you bought. You know, like
yeah. Masterpiece upgrade. No down. Oh no, looks like they still got them. If I have another $25, I'd give it another go. well, maybe.
Well, next $25, we know where it's going.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I also got one for Masterpiece Grimlock.
Speaking of $25, let's put the GoFundMe back in the chat, Jack.
Yep.
Again, Horror Mom, medical emergency, could use some help. Donating even just $25 would be really helpful. And also sharing it among everybody you know on social media would also be helpful. And thank you in advance if you do.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There's everything to gain.
Yes.
Nothing to lose and everything to gain. Are you not entertained? Time to get a soldering kit is
yeah, pretty much.
Because like my soldering iron is not delicate enough to fucking do that particular wiring. You know,
my brain is broken because of the movie Joe Dirt. Every time someone references a soldering iron, I think of Christopher Walken saying he's going to stab you in the eye with a soldering iron.
I'll stab you in the eye with a soldering iron. Yep. Oh, geez. Soldering iron kit. Oh, they might not be too expensive, actually.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe you can fix this after all.
Yeah. Maybe I can do this after all. High quality runs. $8. Huh.
Well, that seems a little cheaper than the replacement head, so maybe.
Yeah. And at the very least, I will have a usable soldering iron that I could burn my thumbs with, you know.
Yeah. What was that yelp in the background? Oh, that was just Jack. He was, soldering his Megatron. And probably soldered it to his finger now.
Yep. I've got gun hand, you know.
There you go.
Oh God.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm one of those. I I don't know what it is. I think I do know what it is with me and fucking around with toys, which
Yeah.
is because the Transformers were relatively hard. They were hard to get sometimes. It's hard to get a particular one back in the
Oh, I
80s.
imagine, especially like back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. So if you had one, that was like the one you had.
Mm-hmm.
And if it broke, which it did, I was always fucking putting these things back together and trying to figure out like what materials I could
That
use
makes
to
sense.
put them
Yeah.
back together. And so I think just as I got older, it's just like now it's like an itch, you know? It's like this hinge is loose.
The
You know?
origin of Jack's tinkering skills.
Yeah. Yeah, which then moved on to the VCR
Oh
and
yeah.
things like that,
Being the only one in the house who knows how to program the damn thing is a rite of passage.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, how do you now? Here's the other thing. A lot of people didn't realize this, but often that function was actually broken.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, a lot of VCRs were sold where that function was actually broken, and
I
you're
believe
like,
it.
I can't. Why? Why can't you do it? It's broken. No, we just don't know how to use it. No, it's broken. I know how to use it. It's not working. It's broken. Can you fix it? Oh, I don't know. And the answer was no, because you actually had to have like a little programming thing, in order to do that,
Sounds about right.
yeah, and that I didn't have. And that's where I started to see things as like magic boxes.
Mm.
It's like I can fix everything until I get to the magic box part. You're like, what's a magic box? I'm like, it's the part at which I no longer understand how it works.
Yep.
You know?
It's like dealing with every fucking computer, right? Like
Yeah.
sometimes there are
Yeah.
very simple solutions to things, and other times the computer just is not cooperating.
Yeah,
and then it will cooperate all of a sudden because voodoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, once it comes to actual programming, for me that's the black box,
Yeah.
Like I can put everything else together and I could pry shit open. But
I like Psychobilly. Liam,
oh yeah,
the music genre. Yeah,
that's good stuff.
Good stuff in Psychobilly.
Yeah. Okay, I think I better get myself like a drink. So let's take
Go
like a
for it.
5. Yeah, I'll take a 5-minute break to do that. I'll be
Go
right
for
back.
Yes. How's everybody doing out there? Reminder to everybody, Horror Mom, Count Jackula has posted it in the chat. Horror Mom had a medical emergency that is going to cut into her ability to pay rent this month. So it would be greatly appreciated if you could either donate to the GoFundMe, or if you can't donate to the GoFundMe, to at least share the GoFundMe on your social media so that more people could see it, and hopefully more eyeballs will equate to more donations. We would greatly appreciate it. Horror Mom would greatly appreciate it. Jack would greatly appreciate it. And Satan himself would greatly appreciate it. Anyway. Not too bad, Liam. Rock on. Demented Argo and Frantic Flintstones are my go-to Psychobilly bands. Oh, nice. Rock on. Hells to the yeah. Hells to the yeah. Also, I used to break shit to try to figure out how it works and how to fix things. Yeah. I knew a lot of people who used to do that. Yeah. And some people just have that, like, inner craftsman, even as a child, that inner mechanic, that inner engineer, and they're just really curious how the world works, how the little mechanics come together. Just discovered the Guinea Pig films, saw Speak No Evil, beat Zelda Link Between Worlds. Did you see the new Speak No Evil or the Danish Speak No Evil? Just to clarify. And just discovered the guinea pig films, Flashman. Really? You? I refuse to believe this is the first time you've seen Mermaid in a Manhole. Come on. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to marathon the Universal horror movies for the month. That sounds fun. That sounds a fun little thing to do. Little activity. Satan sounds like a pretty cool supporting charity.
Well, sometimes you just gotta support charity, Help out your fellow Satanists. It's what you do. Hail Satan!
Sorry for not being active in the chat for a while, working on a blog because my writer's block went away. That's totally fine. Do what you need to do, my friend. It's all good. Just got back from Tokyo. Wish I could donate, but I can't transfer money out of Thailand. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Just share the GoFundMe if you can. Admittedly inspired by AVGN, Cinemassacre, Monsters of Madness. That makes sense. Like a movie a day thing. Yeah. The film I'm referring to was The Flower of Flesh and Blood. Oh, okay. All right. Rock on. You have not seen the Danish film. I highly recommend the Danish film. It's a little different from the American film, as I understand, because I have not actually seen the American film yet. But from what I understand, reading the reviews, they have slightly different endings. Or should I say very drastically different endings. The entire third act, in fact, is different in both those movies. But I did see the Danish one, and I really loved it.
Did I hear right? You were introducing someone to Mermaid in a Manhole?
Well, Flashman says that he just discovered a guinea pig film, and apparently he was not talking about that one. He was talking about a different one.
Oh! Which one was he talking about?
He was talking about, let me pull that back up, The Flower of Flesh and Blood.
Oh, that's the one with the schoolgirl, isn't it?
I can't remember which one that is, to be honest. Long-time viewer, first-time commenter, love your reviews. Thank you, Liberty.
Oh, thank you.
I greatly appreciate it.
Liberty Cherisage.
Did you see that Del Toro finished filming Frankenstein? Yes.
Wait, he actually made that movie?
Yeah. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein just finished filming. He tweeted about it.
Ooh. Next year, I guess.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, man. That is going to be fucking amazing.
Rock on. Looks like Rachel got another donation.
Oh, excellent.
We're getting there. We're getting there, people.
It's happening.
Thank you to Anonymous, whoever you are.
Anonymous, thank you for $20. Oh, jeez. Excuse me.
I you know me, I have terrible acid reflux. I get it.
Yeah. Because I was out there, quick, eat a hard-boiled egg, Maybe that's why your farts are so bad, Jack, because you eat a hard-boiled egg. Shut up.
I mean, it's healthy at least, I have debilitating. I have acid reflux to the point where it stops me from talking. I hate it.
Oh. Yeah.
It annoys me.
Yeah. I'm actually wondering if the antibiotics they gave me while I was in the hospital didn't fucking get rid of my ulcer.
Maybe.
Because
it's also possible just being laid out in the hospital for a while helped with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those. Yay. Yeah.
Absolutely. Looks like we got some new people in the chat, so maybe we got to put
excellent.
Rachel's GoFundMe in the chat again. Rachel, aka Horror Mom, great friend of the stream, and longtime friend of the stream, recently had a medical emergency that is going to eat in her ability to pay rent this month. So we are asking our friends and followers to either donate to the campaign or share the campaign on social media, whichever you can do. Either way, you'll be helping out immensely.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely, we do. We will. It is the way of things.
It'll be greatly appreciated.
Greatly appreciated. Yes. Oh boy. Yeah, granted my boss hey Liam Early. Being a custodian is generally not bad, but my boss is an OCD corporate stooge. Yeah, well, they tend to do that. They tend
Gotta
to do
hate
that way.
those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not fun.
What would I review? Like,
What would you review?
What
in what
movie would I
context?
review? Like if I did another video, what would it be? You know, it would have to be.
I would definitely pick something that
one.
you would love to work on. if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, exactly.
Or one you just would have a blast with. Like, I'm sad to this day that there's only one Satanic Cinema because I think that was such fun to make.
Yeah, that's true. Like maybe if I found like it was always Alucarda. You know,
Alucarda would be a good one.
Alucarda.
That'd be a good one.
That movie's wild. You know, it could also be called Two Lesbians and Satan.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
ironically, Satanica Pandemonia is not as good as Alucarda. You know,
yeah,
like
I
that's
could
a
see that.
much more like, look, this is just an excuse to watch a woman whip herself, you know, like, which, I mean,
I'm not
fair.
complaining.
Yeah,
I'm
not
not complaining.
complaining, but it's not as good as the one where there's a girl masturbating a crucifix screaming Satan. You know, it's
See, look,
just,
the way you're lighting up right now, like, there you go. It's got to be something that makes you feel like that. You know?
and then the other girl turns into a vampire for some reason. And if you're like, that doesn't make any sense, shut the fuck up. You know, like, shut the fuck up, you child, you pleb. Like, how dare you question the internal logic of a hastily put together 1970s Spanish satanic film? How dare you?
Exactly.
How dare
Exactly.
you? You know?
Satan is judging you.
He judges you harshly, man. You know, you gotta be careful. You gotta watch out. You know?
Yes, Horror Mom and my girlfriend. And it looks like we are at 485 out of 800. We are getting there, my friends.
Ken
We are getting
Russell's
there.
The Devils. Well, here's the main
That's-
problem I have with reviewing that movie.
The
It
censor-
might just the censor bit, because the chances are very high that it will become a review of Vanessa Redgrave's tits, because they are all over that movie.
Fair.
Like, oh my God. If you were like, wow, I'd love to see that woman topless, you will. And it's called The Devils. And they're not small either. So that's extra fun. You know?
There's definitely something to, like, some of my favorite videos you did were definitely those, like, 70s exploitation films. Like,
because they're ones that a lot of people, the one I wanted to do, and now I feel like it's a little too late, was Possession.
Fair, yeah.
You know, like, because it was
honestly, that would probably do numbers, to be honest. Like,
that's a
there's
good
such a
point.
fan.
Yeah.
There's such a fan base for that one now. It might actually do better now than it would have if we did it back then.
Yeah. You know, because, like, the thing I love about Possession is it's like, what's the movie about? It's like, all right, so no, oh god, not Ed O'Neill. Sam Neill's wife.
Sam Neill, yeah.
Starts fucking a tentacle monster and has a nervous breakdown. He then develops a split personality, turns into two different guys, of which he has to kill both his other self and his wife before moving on, which he fails to do.
Yep.
That's the movie. Like,
Yep.
and there's of course that like awesome scene where she just like has a nervous breakdown in the middle of the fucking subway, which just goes on and on and
It's
on.
such a beautiful scene.
Yo,
It's so glorious.
Really good.
I'm glad Tumblr discovered that movie for themselves because I'm glad that movie's now appreciated the way it always should have been, you know?
Yeah, because it's like people didn't want to fucking see a movie where a woman fucked a rubber tentacle monster.
How dare they?
I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. You know, all the great movies have that.
Exactly.
Lighthouse had that.
It did.
Yeah. Man fucks. There's a lot of mermaid vaginas are very large.
That sounds like a porn with extra steps. Hey, we love those steps.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Like one of my other favorite movies. One of my other favorite things is not Uzumaki, although I do love that one. Uratsuki Doji, The Legend of the Overfiend. You know, that was always one where I would give like Bennett the sage shit because he's like, oh, Legend of the Overfiend. I'm like, hell yeah, Legend of the Overfiend.
Oh yeah, it's classic.
That is a fucking film, baby. That deserves a Criterion Collection.
Hell yeah.
In its animation department.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, not entirely outside the bounds of possibility. They did put in the Belladonna's Sadness.
That's true. Oh, Belladonna Sadness. Now that's a movie I fucking adore.
That is a great one. You know, like if you want to know where it's weird because it's almost like a genesis point for a lot of Western adult animation. It's actually where Rankin Bass got the style it did for all of its Lord of the Rings movie and The Last Unicorn.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. You watch any two of those back, you watch Belladonna Sadness with any of the Rankin Bass animated things, you're just like, oh. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, the original Uratsuki Doji, like the first two stories at least, have really good animation. After that, it drops in quality. Once after the world is destroyed, those ones are bad in the animation department. They're not so great in the story department either. It goes on. Like it goes on. I watched the entire series in a single night. And by the time I got to the fourth story, I was like, oh my God, get on with it. Oh my God, get on with it. And then a cyborg shows up in the last act, and I'm like, what? What? Why is there a cyborg here all of a sudden? I thought we were doing...
shut up.
Yeah, because shut up. But it would have been nice to lead up to that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just like all of a sudden, the cyborg we've created has escaped. What? Were you doing that? Did I miss something? Did I miss a scene? Was that cut out? Like, what's happening? Because if they were like, the new demon we have summoned has arrived, and it turns out it's like part cybernetic, I'd have been like, yeah, okay.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
all right.
fair.
Yeah, you can just have been summoning demons back there. That makes total sense. It was just the fact that they were like, no, what has science done? And I'm like, well, this is isn't it kind of late to introduce an element this significant?
Maybe. Well, we did it anyway.
No, but we did it anyway.
Cope, motherfucker, cope. It looks like we are at 490 out of 800. We are getting there, my friends.
Yeah, the trilogy is Belladonna's Sadness, Cleopatra, and 1001 Arabian. Oh,
that's kind of perfect. Yeah,
there you go. The anime Cleopatra. Oh man. You know, I kind of appreciate the fact that like old anime could just do sexual content and not, and it wasn't like that big of a deal. Like the movie could only fail or succeed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Looks like Liberty has a question for us in the chat.
Oh, do you know the legend of the Rang de Kala Narang from Balinese myth? That
I do
sounds
not.
really familiar. Let me look it up.
Jack
Jog
is the
my
myth
memory.
guy.
Yeah.
So he might. I do not. I have no idea what that is.
Character. Oh, the shape-changing witch? Yes. Yes, I am familiar with it. It's what Mystic Zabali is all about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that would basically the Ragnar Kalan Orang is a kind of like a it was kind of like
Oh,
it's a
they
story.
even said in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah,
it was inspired by the Mystic Zabali.
It's a story that inspired Mystic Zabali, and it's named for the name comes from a character in the story.
Okay.
You know, yeah, Cleopatra had scenes from in the future filmed as live action shots with animated heads. Yes.
Oh, the more you know.
Yes. So
Cool.
yeah. I actually am familiar with the with that. You know, I've been trying to. One of the things that I was trying to learn up on were also the Aswang.
What's that?
Well, here's the problem. Aswang is like Indonesian and Malaysian.
Okay.
And Vietnamese, like Southeast Asian. It's a Southeast Asian thing. The problem is that it is kind of as far as I can tell, it's a generic word for almost any kind of evil spirit or malevolent entity. And so it's like, it's not even as specific as like ghost. It's more like yokai if all the yokai were evil.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
Yeah, whereas, the yokai could, some of them are malevolent, but most of them are just mischievous.
They kind of run the gamut, really. They could be like completely malevolent and evil, or they could just be fucking around, or they could even be nice and kind. It just depends on the yokai.
Yeah, they're just weird. It's just 1,000-year-old umbrella, you know? But yeah, the Aswang are almost always like, and they eat the marrow of the bones of children, like kind of stuff.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
They sound fun at parties.
Yeah, so I was I thought I was looking up a singular monster or creature, and it turns out it's a whole like vague classification.
Damn.
Much like I said, yokai or fairy. One of the things I think is really particularly weird is when a culture divides things differently than we do. And so it gets really confusing. Like in modern understanding, a banshee would be a form of ghost.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
But
I always took it as some sort of like ghostly spirit anyway.
Yeah. But technically speaking, it's a fairy. But a fairy, but the spirit of a deceased person is also a fairy.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, so it's not like a genealogy. It's just a classification of weird shit.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like the yokai and like the fae, like the fairies. Like there's some like crossover ideas there,
Yeah. But with it's odd because with the yokai, it seems like there is a bit of a connecting thread in that they're all weird as fuck.
True.
Like the like Ireland and Scotland have this thing called the Fachin.
Yeah.
Which is very yokai-like because it's like it's a one-eyed, one-footed, one-legged, one-armed creature.
That should be the new song.
Yeah. It was a one-eyed, one-handed, one-legged creature, and he sure was hopping on one leg. Goblins and sprites are separate things. Yeah. The genealogy of mystic entities is not.
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place. Like it makes no sense. Yeah, local Oswing myth here, says Jay Tilton. Is there a long-tongued woman-looking creature that attacks women and causes miscarriages? Yeah. That's the thing with the Oswing. That's the thing that really kind of ties them together. Is they're all almost all of them have something. They do something horrible to children.
I'm just gonna call that the abortion monster.
Yeah. I'm the abortion monster. Apparently, a good pussy licking will cause you to have an abortion. There you go. There it is. That's just the way it is. I'll hear nothing about it. I'll hear no argument. But yeah. Like Thailand's got a lot of weird stuff, man.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Tagalong movies?
I don't think I have, no.
Oh, okay. A series of movies set in Taiwan. Horror movies about an entity called a Tagalong, which is like a ghost that attaches itself to people.
Like onto your back?
Yeah.
Just hanging there?
Yeah. It tags along. It follows. It's like It Follows, except it's not about sexually transmitted diseases.
Gotcha.
It's just, once it starts following you, it just does so until it kills you.
As you do.
As you do. Yep.
Yeah.
We're modern people trying to put creatures into boxes, whereas people in the past didn't. That is very true. Like we colonizers.
Put everything into boxes now. Everything's got to be categorized.
Yeah, otherwise we feel like it's not quite right.
Yeah.
But
the categories are malleable. They always have been most of the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Sometimes we come up with cats and dogs, right? And we're like, we're solid on this.
Yep.
Then we run into the lemur.
Yeah.
We're like, which one is it? Maybe it's a rodent. No, it's not a rodent. Maybe it's a primate. No, it's not a monkey. Fuck is it then? It's a lemur. What's a lemur? It's a dog, cat, monkey thing.
As you do.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You made a really. You had.
They are adorable though.
Yeah, they are adorable. But you had this star-shaped peg and no star-shaped hole, so you just put it in a box.
Did you see that viral video of the girl reacting to? It's a guy doing one of those there's different holes and you put the little pegs in them.
That goes,
but
in the square hole.
But they put them all in the square hole, and she just gets progressively more sad and distressed.
Yeah, the thing I like about that video is realizing that they all go in the square hole is its own type of genius.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw someone put a caption on it where it's just why you have QA testers or something like that.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there going I was mad at myself for not realizing you could do that as a kid.
I know.
It's
kind of brilliant.
Wait, you could do that? God damn it. With that, it got me points,
The only way to avoid it is if you make the square hole just significantly smaller than all the other pegs. That's the only way to avoid it.
Yeah. But everything, all those shapes are in that exact fit easily into that perfect square fucking hole.
It's brilliant. Brilliant.
Yep. Some bastards try to put people into boxes, but people are not stuff. People are boxes that hoard baggages. That hoard baggage.
Horror Mom, on the other hand, says she would like to be in a box. And and I got to know, is that because you secretly want to sleep in a coffin? Because, I mean, don't we all?
I think you do. Although, no matter how many times you get out of a coffin, there's just that one time you don't. You know,
there's always the last time you get out of the coffin.
Always the last time. It's always the last time. I have a question for you, Count Jackula. What do you think of Iblis, the Islamic Satan? Hope I'm not being presumptuous. Okay. Here's the thing about Iblis. It's like Satan. There's a lot of debate over what Iblis actually is, because sometimes he's like a jinn. Sometimes he's not. Sometimes he's supposed to be something else.
That's another category that is far more complex than we in our modern understanding have. Jinns.
Oh, the jinn? Yeah. Yeah. It's like the jinn are odd because they have like a singular origin point, but each jinn does something different. The things that they all have in common are they're made of smokeless fire, wherever the fuck that means. Like whatever the fuck that means, they're made of it, right?
Yeah.
They live out in the desert, and they like to eat people. Everything
as you do.
else is different from story to story. Sometimes they shapeshift. They also usually shapeshift. But like sometimes they want to steal your baby. Sometimes they want revenge for some sort of slight of pre-Islamic law. Sometimes you'll find them in a bottle, and if you open the bottle, they'll kill you. Sometimes they'll grant you 3 wishes or whatnot. And you're just sort of like, what?
There's a whole spectrum there.
Yeah. And you're like, what the fuck are these things? Is smokeless fire supposed to be light? I think so. But the funny thing is whenever we translate them to the West, what's the element we always bring? Smoke. The thing they are specifically not made of.
You're not wrong. A lot of adaptations that have jinn will do that.
Yeah. It's like, like the most famous one, like a genie from Aladdin. He's made of smoke.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, they're made of smokeless fire. It's the one thing that they can't have is be made of smoke.
Yep.
Why has mankind created magical races like Fae, Yokai, Jinn, or almost fantasy-like? We just do. We have this word that we put on all of the weird creatures that come from the imagination. And every culture has a word for that. But the problem is that while we like to think of cultural lines as being absolute, they aren't. Like, not even close. It's not even close. Like, any internally consistent mythology, like Greek or Roman mythology, didn't start that way. The container for all of them and how they all make sense comes way, way, way later. Like, all we know about the Greeks and Roman pantheon mostly comes from the Theogony, which I think was written by Ovid. And it was literally just his big fan fiction novel about, all right, this is how all the myths of all the gods and all that shit work together. It was his Silmarillion, essentially.
Yeah. Well, because from what I understand it is like you put these like all these gods and all these like entities in like this pantheon, but like really the people over here in this village worshipped this one god. They didn't worship the others, just this one. And you put it in a category because it's in the same region.
Yeah.
As these other people that worship these other things.
Yeah, because there's usually a legend of how this god is related to the god of that village over there.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
so it becomes a pantheon in retrospect, really.
Yeah, are cryptids the modern version of things like Fey, yokai, or the Jinn? Yeah, pretty much. It's the modern word that we put on weird entities. It's our
Not
modern word
wrong.
for it.
Not wrong.
You
They're the
know?
urban legend version of that, you know?
Yeah, the cryptid. And oh man, speaking of cryptids, was watching
Our
the
pantheon includes Mothman. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about that? Someone just
with some historian writing about this period of time, like they had this pantheon of creatures,
yeah.
and one of them was the Mothman.
Mothman. They're gonna go insane trying to figure out what moths have to do with predicting the future. Like they're gonna be like, what? Like, because there are a bunch of other patterns that you could make with moths. You know,
It's true.
The psychopomp. You could do the psychopomp thing. It transforms and it flies and it goes from place to place. Okay? Sure. It can be a psychopomp. Easy. Don't have to explain that. Predicting earthquakes, however. What? Predicting train accidents.
It's so specific,
What?
the train accident thing.
Yeah, it's like, I saw Mothman 6 months ago and then a train accident happened.
I gotta know, what did Mothman do before trains, you know?
I have no fucking idea. There are a bunch of people that believe Mothman is an entity called Ingrid Cold.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh man. And
that sounds like a comic book character.
It does. And Ingrid Cold himself is a rabbit hole of the fuck are you talking about? He's like, hi, I'm an alien from the future, and sometimes I'm Mothman, and I'm here to blend in with people, but I'm so weird and awkward, I'm obviously like 10 aliens in a man suit.
You know, as you do.
But he's here, and he lives in like, and he lived in like fucking Connecticut. And you're like, what? Is this? And if you go to a specific cave and play a specific song, you can get a secret message from him. At which point I'm just like, all right, now you're just making shit up. Now you're just making it up. Like, what the hell is this? Now you have to do more research to do. Yeah, no, go for it. I dare you. I double dare you to make any sense of it. Like, that's the problem. Because here's the thing. People who like Mothman don't give a shit about his powers.
They just like the idea of a giant Mothman.
Yeah,
like
they just like
monster.
the idea of like a moth monster that's roughly human-sized, you know?
Yeah.
Because they, partially because they think moths look cute, which, fair.
Yeah,
fair. A lot of moths do look really adorable. So we're like, oh my God, it's a big fluffy insect. And he's big. I hug him like Totoro. You know, like I get, no problem. Why does he predict train accidents? Like, what's the linkage? Usually there's a linkage.
Maybe when they were coming up with that myth, they just lost their train of thought.
Every day. Like I said, every day. I think how the crackhead, there must be a crackhead behind some of these folklore stories. Yes. Isn't Mothman more like an owl? And that's another thing. That's another thing. The answer to that is, yeah, kind of, actually. If you go by certain drawings, he looks way more like an owl. So, is he deaf? Okay, but why would he be? You see what I mean? It just brings up too many question marks.
It really does. It really does.
You know, like, funny enough, the Loveland Frogman.
I love that one.
Yeah. Just as ridiculous, but there's a kind of internal consistency to it. You just have to accept that he has a magic wand.
I have to thank that movie the Frogman, which is another great movie from this year, by the way, on our list of great movies from this year, because I had no idea about this myth before that movie, and it was amazing to find out about it and to look it up afterwards, and to have Horror Mom actually like give me the lowdown as someone from that area.
Yeah, I had no idea that the Loveland Frogman was like that big. You know, like it was like a Loch Ness monster of Ohio.
If any of you in the chat like found footage movies even slightly, go and watch Frogman.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It goes all the way.
Yeah, that you it's not that boring. It's not boring either.
No.
Which was the other thing I liked about it. I was like, oh, there's actually stuff going on, even though we don't get to the titular Frogman until like the last 20 minutes.
And then when you do, the movie goes all the way with it. Every fucking stupid aspect of that myth. They go all in.
No, the minute that frog starts shooting at him with the magic wand, I was like, okay, all right.
Yep.
I'm in.
Yep.
I'm loving this.
And speaking of Frogman, Ohio, and Horror Mom, let us put the GoFundMe back in the chat, Jack.
Would I ever...
As I've been saying, yeah. Go ahead.
Someone was sorry, I was talking over you. Go for it.
It's okay. As I've been saying all night, Horror Mom recently had a medical emergency that is going to cut into her ability to pay her rent. So we have a GoFundMe up to help her out. If you can donate to that GoFundMe, that would be very helpful. But even if you can't, share the GoFundMe on social media and spread the word so that more eyeballs will see the GoFundMe and hopefully more people will donate. Thank you very much, and let's get back on with our stream.
Yeah, get back. Would I ever direct a Mothman movie? I don't know if
you could reinvent it.
If I could reinvent it, I would totally do a movie with a Mothman monster.
If you could completely reinvent the legend from the ground up and make your own movie of it, I would do it. That'd be fun.
Yeah. You know, like I would probably.
Hardcore cryptid heads would hate it, but
totally. They'd hate it, but they also would like. I did want to do that one movie that looks like it's going to be a Sasquatch movie, but it turns out it's a werewolf movie.
That'd be awesome.
You know, guys go out, they think they're going to go squatching, and they just happen upon like a tribe of werewolves. And just like...
I think the best part would be if the guys were disappointed to find out they're werewolves.
Yeah, exactly.
They really needed it to be Sasquatch.
Man, they needed it to be Sasquatch. Sasquatch, fuck that.
They're just full-on Squatch heads, and finding out it's a werewolf is disappointing to them.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Would you ever direct a Mothman and Bigfoot porno movie? No. I don't direct pornos. I'm fine with that existing. I just wouldn't make it myself.
Depends who my actresses were.
Fair.
For me, it depends on who the actresses were. Like, for example, like you say like Juliet Mitchell will totally be in your Mothman fucks Bigfoot movie. I'd be like, well, I guess I'm making a Mothman fucks Bigfoot movie then. You know, April O'Neil wants to play Bigfoot.
Fair.
Oh, fair. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's do it. You know,
it looks like Kara in the chat has an interesting question for you.
By the way, what I said earlier, do you think putting everything into a box mindset is hurting modern magic? I don't know. I don't know if it's hurting it, but our need to put everything into a box, you want to remember that you want to do that because it serves a purpose. You know, the tendency of putting things in boxes is that we tend to start doing it just to do it.
True.
And that's intellectual masturbation, which is fine. But if that's all you're doing, it's kind of like you're kind of wasting your effort.
Yeah.
You know.
I also think it can be counterproductive if you put things in a box in a way that's too restrictive, because sometimes things aren't neatly in a box, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's like all the different subgenres of
Mhm.
horror.
Well, yeah, genres of TV shows, movies, books, music. Those are so malleable that like
Yeah.
things don't always neatly fit into one little neat box, you know?
Yeah. Like, I'm okay with saying vampire movie or zombie movie or werewolf movie.
Yeah,
You
well, those
know?
are simple because it's like, does it have a werewolf? Does it have a vampire? Okay.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, exactly. You know, what is it about? Like, that's fine. But when we get into, well, I really like rom-coms,
Which are a thing.
which are a
They
thing.
exist.
They exist, but I find myself going, I don't feel like I'm starting to feel like we're slicing things, just starting to slice things a little too thin, you know.
I feel that every way as a big fan, every time as a big fan of like metal music, where people will do this like
Yes.
it's technical, progressive, blackened death metal, and I'm just like, oh my fucking god, that is way too many fucking descriptions.
Yeah, at that point, it's just heavy metal, okay?
Yeah, it's
you
just
know,
metal music, man.
like, well,
If
what
you need
really?
to put it in like the extreme category because they're screaming and shit, fine, whatever.
Yeah. If you want to be like, well, it's. I think the funniest subcategory name I ever ran into was screamo.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, that one's a little easier to wrap your brain around because it's just emo, where the singers do harsh vocals like screaming.
Yeah.
So,
But I
so
did
it's like
find
My
my
Chemical Romance with screaming. That's it.
Yeah, which I found myself going, I understand it, but that's ridiculous.
It's a more fun name than some names people come up with, you know. So I'll give them that.
Yeah. Do you find yourself normally attracted to symphonic lyrical black metal? It's just metal.
Don't
to me,
forget,
man.
it's also ska because there's a horn once.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, I just like metal music, man. You know, like I don't know what to tell you. I tend to prefer it when I can understand the lyrics. You know,
Sure,
that's
yeah, fair.
that's not that's not necessarily a make or break.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I also find myself going like for example. And then you got bands like Opeth that just kind of run the gamut as a band of all the metal subgenres anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't really call them any one type of metal band because they've done all of it.
They've released so many different albums with different like sounds. Like, yeah, they've been all over the place. They've done everything from straight up death metal to psychedelic 60s, you know, like King Crimson shit, you know, like.
Yeah, and oh god, the Sorceress, that album.
Oh, I love that album.
Oh no, it's fantastic. But that's clearly their big like King Crimson tribute.
Yesterday or today was like the anniversary of that release.
Oh, okay. Hi, dog.
Oh, looks like Massimo's visiting.
Massimo, you want outside? Or do you want lap? Do you want you want outside? Okay. All right. So, did you want to come on? Do you want to say hello, or do you want to just stand out there with me with the door open, looking at me pathetically? Okay, so he just wants to do that then. All right.
Hey, he made his choice.
He's made his choice. You know. Oh, now he's trying to get back in again. Like
it's like
You're hanging around cats too much now.
I know.
Yeah,
he's around too many cats. There's too many cats in the neighborhood.
He thinks you come up to the door, open it, and then just stand there. You know. You know, but yeah. The Sorceress by Opeth is their big like King Crimson inspired album because like that's the one where they keep that sound going for the entire thing.
And they did a couple albums in that vein after that, and they keep shifting it because they're always evolving.
Yeah,
I love Opeth.
Even Heritage, which was like their first had their first songs that were like King Crimson inspired, isn't as consistent as Sorceress.
It looks like we're at 535 out of 800.
Shit.
Thank you, George Holmes, for the recent donation.
Oh, excellent. 5 out of 850.
You know what? Why not? Put it back in the chat again, just so that, in case anyone who's just pouring in, because it looks like we got a couple more watchers now.
Yeah. Death metal music.
We are helping out Horror Mom with a medical emergency. That is the GoFundMe that Jack just put in the chat. Donate if you can. And if you can't donate, share it on social media so that more people can, see it, and we can hopefully get more donations.
Now, MH, I don't know about death metal music. That's only about kitty cats. But I can tell you, I can give you a rap album that is made from cat sounds. It's called Meow the Jewels.
That is amazing. There is a death metal band where the singer is a parakeet. I forget what they
comes
were called.
out in a parakeet outfit?
No.
Or they recorded a parakeet and that's the lyrics.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Hate Beak.
Hate Beak.
Look up Hate Beak. I'm telling you, man. Hate Beak. They exist.
Hate Beak.
Waldo the parrot. I was wrong. It was a parrot, not a parakeet.
What?
It is an actual parrot. It is not a man in a parrot costume.
Hate Beak parrot singer.
Yep. It's a thing. It exists.
Bird Seeds of Vengeance.
Yep.
Hold on.
It's novelty.
Yeah. Hate Beak live. Let's see. Do they have live?
I don't think they've done live because they don't want to hurt the bird with the loud music live.
Right.
See, isn't like human ingenuity so much better than AI?
Yes.
Or should I say bird ingenuity?
Okay, question.
Yes.
Heavy metal musician has no neck.
Oh, you talking about Corpse Grinder from
Yes.
From Cannibal Corpse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, what's his name? Or what is he called, rather? You know?
You could either say he has no neck or he is all neck.
Yeah. He just had, it's just kind of like gumdrop from the shoulders up, you know?
Yeah.
Like a Muppet or something, you know? Like, oh, man. Yeah, don't damage the parrot's hearing. Yeah. Catara is a cat-fronted band.
Well, there you go. There's a cat one.
Oh, dear.
I don't know how they pull that one off.
Patience.
Extreme patience.
Hunger of the Beast.
That's true. Horror Mom did buy me Cannibal Corpse tickets. It was a fun show. I enjoyed that show.
In the studio with Catara. Aww.
Is it adorable?
It is adorable. They made a little like fake studio for him for an interview. And he has like posters on the wall that say things like 9 Inch Claws.
Aw, that's precious as hell.
Oh my God. Finally, a metal band made for me. Yeah, well, there was going to be one. There was going to be one. Like, people, I don't think heavy metal is like wrestling. Everyone's into it, even if they don't realize they're into it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was Cannibal Corpse and Mayhem. Yes, it was. Indeed, it was.
Yep.
That was a fun show.
God.
It was a fun show. It was a show that also revealed to me how old I had gotten, because it was not seats. It was floor seats. So I was standing, and my legs were sore as fuck at the end of that show just from standing watching the show. Hey, Brie Lawson.
Oh, hey, Bree, what's up? Or Brian?
Or I guess Brian Lawson. Sorry. I apologize, Brian. I misread the name. Everything's going all right. We are helping raise money for Horror Mom's GoFundMe. Jack's periodically dropping the link in the chat for people, because she had an unexpected medical expense that is going to cut into her ability to pay rent. So we, as a community, the Slut Pit, are banding together to help her out.
Man, question.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so I lost track of the genealogy of Mayhem. Is this technically the same band from where dude killed the other guy?
I'm pretty sure only two original members remain. It might be one member at this point.
Okay.
But basically, if you saw that movie about Mayhem, one of the guys in the background that were always mad at the other two for all the crazy shit, one of them is still there in the band. Everyone else is gone because one guy died. And,
right.
Well, two guys died, actually. But the band basically only has one or two remaining members from that original lineup.
Okay.
And he maintains the Mayhem name.
Got it. Okay, got it. So basically, it was one of those, well, Ronimus is dead. Varg's in jail. Guess I'm free.
Free
falling. Oh, God. Oh, on the cryptid thing, I was saying I'm watching this documentary series on Hulu called, shit. I forgot the name of that. I think it's called Out There.
Yeah, something like that. It's from the Duplass brothers, is what I saw in the description, or at least they produced it.
Yeah, they produced it, and the whole idea is it's true crime that meets something paranormal.
Makes sense.
And the problem is this is
Bigfoot stole my motor vehicle.
Yeah, like, okay, so the first two are really intense because they're like bad shit actually went down. Like the first one is, do you remember back in 2020 in, I think it was Memphis, Tennessee, there was like an RV that was a bomb that exploded.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, well, the guy who did that believed in like Raelians.
Okay.
So it goes into like him and his whole like weird alien reptile people have taken over the world thing.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. So like, and the sequence of events is really weird. Like he drives this RV into town, starts playing a recording that says evacuate immediately,
Mm-hmm.
and then it starts playing Downtown. Like the song Downtown, when you're alone and in your
okay.
And as soon as the song ends, the van explodes.
That's creepy.
Yeah, and he was in it. Like,
Oh,
he
geez.
planned this. It was all on purpose to stop reptilian aliens, specifically one reptilian alien that he named Lacerta, which is a name I'm going to totally steal, by the way. Was like hunting him down, and he had to stop them.
Bro didn't want them probes.
Yeah. Yeah, and they interviewed this one woman who knew him, and when because she tried to turn him in, because she was like, this guy's gonna do some real damage to something or somebody. Like, you gotta do something. But like, no one listened.
I wonder if he did it like Randy Quaid in Independence Day. I'm back.
Well, like, here's the thing. Like, I'm worried Randy Quaid gonna do that for real.
I know, right?
You know, like, it's like, Randy, you do realize Independence Day was a movie you were in, right? Right? You know?
That man lost his damn mind.
Yeah. And but I will say, this show has taught me the line.
And what's that?
All right, here's the line. Because I always wonder, what's the difference between a mystic like myself and a conspiracy theorist? What is it that separates us? Because we do a lot of similar things with some of the same shit.
Okay.
And I have found the line.
What is it?
Anti-Semitism.
Yeah, that's a pretty firm line, yeah.
Because no matter what conspiracy you're into, you will eventually reach the anti-Semitic event horizon.
Yes.
You know? To the point where you just believe Jewish people have space lasers and they secretly control the world through the Build-A-Bear group. And like, I'm just always aghast because I'm like, why does this always happen? Why is it always, and then Jews run the world? You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. I thought we were talking about lizard aliens here. What the fuck is this?
I was so sad when so many of those conspiracy theories always just ended up coming down to like anti-Semitism, for the simple reason that like I like some of those theories on like a mythological kind of point of view. Like, it's kind of cool to like do lizard people as like a movie concept or something, but like, oh man, it's so tainted because of Nazis.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
you know.
And I'm like, why do they all go it? Flat Earth goes there. Moon landing goes there.
They all do. It's like there's a threshold that every conspiracy theory goes down eventually.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's the part of the Venn diagram that I'm not touching, but that you have to make some hops to get to.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, because it can't just be you think yarmulkes look stupid. You know, like it's like it's got to be like Jews secretly control the world. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, and you're just sort of like, what the fuck? Why? Like, I didn't realize that I should have guessed, right?
Yeah.
I should have guessed, but like the minute they were like, one guy is like, and Hitler knew all along about the reptile alien people, but he had to call them Jews. And I'm like,
what the fuck?
What
the fuck
just happened? You stole the plot of the movie Me and then said it was about Jewish people? You know what? I can't even. I can't.
You know what movie I feel really bad because of all this? I love They Live. But because of Nazis, it's always going to have this weird fucking element to it that some people might misinterpret, you know?
Yeah, and it's kind of a hard movie to misinterpret.
Well, because the movie's about neoliberalism. It's about
Republicans
and republicanism and the new conservative movement. It's It's about consumerism. It's
Yeah.
about that. But yeah,
The Monster Energy drink conspiracy. Oh God.
Yeah.
All right.
With the Satan symbols on it. Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't they do that on purpose?
I mean, probably.
Is that the conspiracy?
Probably.
Because they're
Monster
like,
Energy
they're not
used
even
to-
hiding it anymore. They're putting 666 on everything. And I'm like, yeah, they're a metal band.
Like Monster Energy literally sponsors metal shows. They have their whole like tour they do. What was it? The Monster Mayhem tour or something like that? Like
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I think it's very weird that like people just look at people referencing this shit and are like, that's proof.
I know.
It's the whole thing of like seeing hooves and thinking zebras, right?
Yeah.
You know, because there's one where the guy's just going on and on and on about we really saw Goat Man. And I'm like, or you saw someone in a Goat Man costume because the town has fucking wrapped its identity up in this Goat Man thing.
So someone got his goat.
Someone got his goat, baby. You know, but no, I know Goat Man is real. Oh, and the Goat Man crime was the worst connected. You know what the crime was in the Goat Man one?
What?
Trespassing.
So I wasn't very wrong with my fucking like Bigfoot stole my motor vehicle.
No. That would at least involve Grand Theft Auto.
Bigfoot stole my RV.
Yeah, so like the first one is about like domestic terrorism. The second one was about a different type of domestic terrorism, but it involved like politicians.
Okay.
And that was over regular alien shit. You know, X-Files alien shit.
All right.
Then there was Goat Man, which was about trespassing. And then there was one about a witch, and I don't know what the crime was. It may have been jaywalking. So I'm like, all right, we're 2 for 4 here as far as actually good and interesting.
You know, you gotta be careful, man. Like when you see a woman crossing the street, witch.
Bigfoot stole me, had impure relations with my wife.
She's walking outside the lines, man. That's witch's power right there.
Yeah, it was like there was another one I was trying to watch because I was like, oh, this could be interesting, which was I think it was called Southern Gothic, which was basically about, you know, like true crime that happens in the South. There
Makes sense.
is just one problem. The first 20 minutes of every episode is, this is a nice, quiet southern town, the kind of place you want to raise your children in. And because it's a series,
yeah, they say that every time.
They say that every fucking time. And you're just like, dude, I get it. You're all in a backwater town. That's a nice place to raise your kids, and it's one of the last one, despite the fact that every fucking episode is a new fucking place, and they say the exact same motherfucking thing. It's a nice place to just raise your kids. And I'm like, oh, when do we talk about not locking our doors? You don't even need to lock your doors here. Bing, 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 bingo! We got it, got them all.
What if it's a nice town to graze your kids because they're cannibals and they treat kids like cattle?
Yep. Skinwalker took my virgin butthole. There actually was like a TikTok like trend where it was basically thing happens to you and was done by local cryptid. Like the one that started it was Mothman stole my catalytic converter.
Son of a bitch.
Bigfoot took my Coleman lamp and he won't give it back.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Mm. Frogman
Oh,
stole
man.
my baby carriage, but left the baby.
Man, TikTok is an awful, terrible place most of the time, but sometimes it's got some jewels.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes a gem comes through. Sometimes something shines through, and it's beautiful. Hey, everybody. Hey, MC Zitwer. How you doing?
It looks like we got some new people in the chat, so let us put that
let's get that
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe going.
Let's put that GoFundMe in the chat. We are helping Horror Mom 92 because she had a medical emergency that is going to cut into her ability to pay her rent. So, if you could donate to her GoFundMe or share her GoFundMe on social media, either way, you'll be helping us out immensely. We will greatly appreciate it. And Horror Mom will appreciate it as well, as she is in the chat and will no doubt tell you.
Yes. Centerville, it's a nice place to raise your kids. Up, churches and liquor stores. Yeah, no. No, like, that's the other thing. It's like church, liquor store, porn shop, like, repeat. This is a nice town. Like, how many porn shops do you got? Is that part of your nice town? I mean, kudos to you if you think that way. Like, I think that's awesome.
It is a nice, quiet town to raise your kids. Unfortunately, we got no jobs.
We got no jobs. A goat man keeps eating people. Like, Count Jackula, what do you think of that? The cult RPG. Oh, I think the newest edition of the cult RPG is actually really good. I think the book is really good. I think the biggest problem that the game has is that it doesn't give the game master enough to do. The game master should be allowed to roll dice just like everybody. That's really my main issue with the cult game system, which it doesn't give the game master enough to physically do. I don't like systems where the game master doesn't roll dice. That seems mean to me.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It's like the players want to have, like, there are a lot of game systems where, like, it feels like the people designed it wanted the players to have all the control, which, okay, sure, but then what does the guy who's running the game do?
Good question.
What do they get to do? Just sit there
and jerk off.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's not very sad. Those games aren't very satisfying to run often, which is too bad because the world of cult is amazing.
Okay.
Let's see. Missouri, the fudge comes from Uranus. Fudge factory. Oh, God. What do you think of the lore and fluff? Oh, I think the lore and fluff of the cult RPG is amazing. Like, it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. I think as a game, it could use a bit more game master advice. Like I would put GM dice rolling back in and do more to explain how to run the game itself. Because that's because one of the things that, like, I keep bringing up Pathfinder because it's the new thing that I've been reading. The thing that I really like about it is the fact that the Game Master book is actually filled with Game Master advice.
Makes sense to me.
Yep. When Moana came out, my dad asked for tickets to Moana Hauntus.
There's only one master, and his name is Satan.
Oh, okay.
GoFundMe account.
I guess that means you got to donate now.
Now I got to figure out how to do this. Okay.
Hail Satan. Smile with horn sign of the horns.
Thank you very much, Brian Lawson.
Thank you, Brian.
Let's see. Wait, why is this going on? No, I don't need that. I need this. Hula 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 hoo. All right. Okay. So what I'll do is in the next couple of days, because the Patreon money is coming in, and that should be more than $20. I'll put it in once that comes through.
Makes sense.
You know. So we'll add 20 more bucks to the bucket. Woohoo! And hopefully tomorrow we'll still have a horror mom on.
Yeah, she's gonna come on regardless tomorrow, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
Unless she's changed her mind, which she might have.
She might have, but I hope not. You know.
I know. I think
man.
she wants to come on, and thank you profusely.
No problem. Death Clock Circus painful.
Yeah.
Death
clock.
Yeah.
I do cocaine.
Seriously, man. A lot of cocaine.
They
had to censor this video because you can see my junk.
We are devolving.
Yeah, I might need to go actually.
right.
I'm
Call it a
starting to
night and continue.
call it a night and continue tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone. Let's put the GoFundMe in the chat for one
last time.
Thank you, everyone, for coming to this stream, and thank you for everyone who donated to the campaign. Once again, we're helping Horror Mom 92 out. Any donation will be helpful, and any sharing of the of the campaign to your social media will also be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. We're going now, but we'll be back tomorrow here. Same Satan time, same Satan channel. And that's 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on YouTube for those of you who are not hip. And until then, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno. Remember, Satan and I love you all very much. And I want to once again thank everybody who donated to Horror Mom's GoFundMe. And we shall continue tomorrow. Until then, good night.